Good day, K-Barkadas. Welcome to K-Friends Day, a Filipino-Koreanist journey.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah,
Go,
K-Friends Day
Travis.
is organized by the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in the Philippines and co-organized by UP Korea Research Center and UP Arirang. This session is also live on Facebook and YouTube.
I am Von Atienza from UP Arirang.
And I am Travis Ariaso, also from UP Arirang, and we are your hosts for today.
Ayan, kamusta ka naman ngayon, Travis?
Okay na okay.
Medyo napa-off mind ka kanina. Okay
Oo
lang
nga
yun.
pero at least, di ba? Parang
Yes.
wala na yung tension. So okay na okay
Oo.
naman, Von.
Oo.
Ikaw
Oo.
ba?
As early as ngayon, meron na tayong intermission agad from you. Talaga namang, okay
Oo.
na okay rin ako ngayon, Travis. Buti naman at okay tayong dalawa ngayon. Dahil K-Friends Day today is a very special day.
Mm-mm. Oo nga, Von. Excited
Yes.
na ako sa mga nakalatag nating events today. Pero teka, partner, kamustahin muna natin ang ating mga audiences.
Oo nga, partner, to all of our K-Barkadas watching on our live stream, comment nyo naman yung mga emoji na nagde-describe ng nararamdaman nyo at this hour.
Wow, napakarami nating
Ayan.
heart reacts ngayon.
Yes.
Ano?
Yes. And may we acknowledge the presence of UP Korea Research Center. Magandang hapon po, UP KRC. Yes. Ayan umuulan ng emojis ngayon Ayan, puro heart reacts. Talagang, nakaka-hype, di ba, Travis?
Of course. Sobrang excited daw sa mga mangyayari ngayon.
Yes, true.
And
Oo.
masaya din ako na okay yung audience natin. Di ba?
Yes. Ayan, merong parang birthday balloons. Ay, parang may mga confetti na emoji. Napaka-cute. Ayan. From Facebook naman, si Miss Lady Hazel Peñamora. Hello po, Miss Lady. Ayan. Hello din sa'yo, Diana Cassandra Almares. Yes. So ayan Travis, mukhang okay naman ang ating mga K-Barkadas today, no? Alam kong excited na sila, kaya naman, partner, ano nga ba ang matututunan natin from this event?
Okay, so for today, Von, we will have more insights about the 3 I's of Hallyu in the Philippines.
Nako, interesting yan, no? Pero syempre, Travis, bago tayo dumako dyan, to stay updated po for more exciting events like K-Friends Day or, just anything about Hallyu, follow UP Arirang on Facebook, UP Arirang, Twitter at UP Arirang, and Instagram also at UP Arirang.
So to formally open our event, here is Miss 𝐊-𝐅𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐤, Director of the Korean Cultural Center, for her opening remarks.
Yes.
Magandang hapon. Good afternoon to all the participants, Koreanists, and viewers of UPKRC event. Despite the pandemic, we have not only held on to each other, but we have also discovered and learned new things. While others were new to the appreciation of Korean culture, there are those known as the Koreanists who have been studying and embracing Korean culture. Today, we will be uncovering the different prospects and projects of reliable organizations and Koreanists who have been leading the exchange and the awareness of Korean culture to the student and the society. Hopefully, this event would happen again as it brings together the youth group from different universities. As the youth, I believe you can play a significant role in connection the Philippines and Korea. You inspire me a lot, and I'm grateful for your dedication. With that, I'd like to invite you all as our special guest to the new KCC building this 2022. See you all soon. Maraming salamat po. 감사합니다.
Wow, so thank you for that meaningful message,
Yes.
Miss Im.
Yes, Travis, alam mo, it's quite overwhelming to think how long the Philippines and Korea in particular have been working together to promote each other's culture. Di ba? Parang ang tagal-tagal na pala nating like nag-i-induct ng cultures of each other. Pero at the same time, it also excites me because of the many opportunities that comes along with it. Travis, ano ba yung sinasabi nating Koreanist journey? May idea ka ba about it?
Of course. So, ito yung mga tao na talagang dinedicate nila yung karamihan ng oras nila tsaka expertise nila para sa connection ng cultural connections ng Korea and other countries, no? So, sobrang excited ko rin ngayon kasi mga true blue Koreanists talaga yung mga magiging panelists and speakers natin for today. Talagang next level sa kumpara sa mga tao.
Pa talaga.
Hobby nila yung pagiging fan ng Hallyu and different things.
Pero 'di ba, itong pagiging Koreanist, I think it's more than just being, Korean enthusiast, 'di ba? At 'yan yung malalaman natin today. So, sino ba yung sunod nating speaker, Travis?
So, to share congratulatory remarks, we welcome po natin yung Director of the Office of International Linkages Diliman, or OILD, si Dr. Carlene Pilar Arceo.
Good day, everyone. Colleagues, students, friends, guests. Greetings to the UP Korea Research Center, the Korean Cultural Center in the Philippines, and UP Arirang. Thank you very much for the invitation to deliver the congratulatory remarks this afternoon. The big number of your attendees is a clear sign of the great interest in the Philippine-Korean journey. Indeed, your organizations should be congratulated for your efforts in promoting Korean studies and Korean culture. The fruits of these efforts are quite commendable. South Korea is the second most popular choice for student exchange in UP Diliman. There have been close to 500 exchange students to Korea since the first such program in 1989. A quarter of this number, around 140, was reckoned for the past 5 active years alone. I refer to the pre-pandemic years running up to 2019 because we had to pause our exchange programs last year. For faculty members, almost every year since 2008, according to our personal records, a UP Diliman colleague has flown to Korea for graduate studies in one of a wide variety of fields: engineering, biology, international studies, finance, among others. In my home unit alone, the Institute of Mathematics, there are 4 faculty members currently in Korea. In Daejeon, in Seoul, doing their postdoctoral studies, doing their research visits. We have one instructor in Sogang University doing his PhD studies, while another faculty member just came home from the same university with his PhD math degree. This is not even to count the number of graduate students who went there, who went to South Korea for their thesis research. And I am sure many more will follow suit. The pandemic has kept us home. Even to do our work, we have to do it from home. So we often ask each other where we'd want to go once travel is allowed again, once the pandemic is over. Many, especially the young, would answer, Korea, even if it's not their first time. K-pop, K-drama, K-cosmetics, these have become everyday words. Korean electronics and gadgetry, automobiles, not to mention food, are part of the Korean phenomenon, the Korean cultural phenomenon sweeping the country, and I dare say the world. Almost everyone I know has seen a K-drama, has tried a K-cosmetic, owns a K-gadget, has eaten samgyeopsal, has tried soju. My friends and I even studied taekwondo during our student days. Now, their children have followed suit. Here, in our home programs, over the past 5 pre-pandemic years alone, the Asian Center has enlisted around 30 MA students majoring in Korean-related studies. The Department of Linguistics has a baby a program for undergraduates majoring in Korean language. I call it a baby because it just celebrated its 3rd birthday. Yet, it already has around 20 students in its roster. There are truly many who want to study in Korea, but also many who want to study about Korea. And why not? To me, what merits admiration and recognition is not so much the personalities, the idols, the gadgets, the products, the brands, but the values behind their development and their success. Hard work, discipline, nationalism, a steely determination to move forward, and yet a dogged desire to preserve heritage. And all that time, a warm-heartedness and sincerity in reaching out to neighbors like the Philippines. That last line in particular is much evident in the organizers of this afternoon's event and how they have become solid friends of UP Diliman. The Office of International Linkages Diliman acknowledges your efforts. Their efforts have been integral to furthering Koreanist research and collaboration in the university. You have also been very supportive and very helpful in promoting student exchange with Korean universities. Even with our current situation, the current travel restrictions, the adjustments in how we deliver our programs, and how we hold events such as this, it seems you have not even missed a beat. You have enthusiastically kept your activities going online, and you have always made us a part of that circle. So thank you very much, UPKRC, the Korean Cultural Center in the Philippines, and UP Arirang. Congratulations. Hopefully, someday soon, I and Oil Diliman can personally congratulate you, and maybe even with a jigger of soju in our hands, greet you. 𝐊-𝐅𝐫𝐢𝐞𝐧𝐝. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much for that heartfelt message, Dr. Curly. Also, we would like to acknowledge the comment of UP Korea Research Center. UPKRC said, "Thank you everyone for joining us today. Let us make the most of this afternoon together." Thank you, UPKRC, for the remark. Well, aside from today's talk show and presentations, Travis, I am sure that our audience is waiting for the performances as well.
That's right, partner. And without further ado, let us introduce our first set of performers.
Yes, partner, here are our beautiful performers from the Philippine Federation of the Deaf with their Filipino Sign Language performance of Permission to Dance by BTS. Let's give them a big virtual round of applause.
It's the thought of being young when your heart's just like a drum, beating louder with nowhere to guard it. When it all seems like it's wrong, sing along to outdoor into that feeling we're just getting started.
When the lights get colder and the rhythm starts to falling behind,
Just dream about that moment when you look yourself right in the eye.
then you say, I wanna dance to music, got me going, nothing that can stop how we move. Yeah, let's make a plan, electric like the golden and rolling like we're dancing fools. We don't need to worry, 'cause when we go, we know how to land.
Don't need to talk the talk, just walk the walk tonight.
firelight. Cause it's not over till the summer say one more time. I wanna dance to music's got me going. Nothing I can stop how we move. Let's make our plans and live just like we're golden, growing like we're dancing fools. We don't need to worry, 'cause when we fall we know how to land. Don't let the dark just walk the walk tonight. 'Cause we don't need permission to
Ayun talagang Travis, no, napaka-inspirational ng performance na yun.
Of course. And grabe na, it speaks volumes on how
Yes.
universal the appeal of music din pala. Kahit iba-iba yung mga
Yes.
lingwaheng sinasalita natin, kahit sign yung gamit natin,
Mm-mm.
tumatama pa rin pala yung kahulugan ng mga kanta na pinapakinggan natin.
And actually, di ba, kahit hindi sila nagsasalita, sobrang loud ng message na gusto nilang i-relay, di ba? And with that being said, we want to acknowledge the presence of Ma'am 𝐊-𝐅𝐫𝐢𝐞𝐧𝐝 from in our comment section. Hello po, ma'am. Yes. Go, Travis.
And of course, since medyo baby ko yung vid, so
Oo.
saka nag-
Ikaw yung
So,
nag-edit nun, di ba? So nice. Yes, that's so
pero
nice.
hopefully marami din tayo mga na-pick up na mga sign languages here and there.
Mm-mm.
Hopefully yung goal is to connect us then with the way that they communicate, and
Yes.
hopefully we become more one in the process.
Yes.
So wait, so sobrang saya ng performance na yun, di ba? Pero hindi lang yun yung performance natin at
Oh.
this point. Ang next performer natin ay isang indie pop duo hailing from Tuguegarao City, Cagayan. So it's the team up of both Ruth and Louie Kem, a pharmacist and nurse respectively. They're also passionate songwriters, music producers, and audio engineers in their own rights.
Yes, Travis, they bagged the grand prize at the CCP's first ever Canto Canta, a national songwriting contest aiming to infuse indigenous instruments to modern genres, setting the stage for their music to be heard by a wider audience. But of course, with the help of their label, Wide Scope Entertainment.
With their band name translating literally to Lyrics of the North, their advocacy is to bring the Norte music to masses across the country. So everyone here is Letrang Norte with their original song, Kalma.
저는 루슬립니다.
저는 루비캠입니다.
우리는
우리는 레트랑 노르테입니다.
영광이며 오늘 당신이 우리를 시원하게 되어 기쁩니다.
This song that we will perform is our latest single titled Kalma. We hope you like it.
Huwag gumawa kung pasahin dahil di alam kung paano tatanggapin. Kung nang titrip ka lang, pwede bang tigilan mo na yan? Di makatulog sa gabi, tila di mapakali. Puso ko'y bumibilis pag ikaw ang katabi. Di ko talaga pa rin mahulaan. Hanggang ngayon malabala isipan. Ako'y nahuhulog na. sasaluhin mo ba pakalmahin damdamin ko sa'yo. Wag mo kong sisihin, pakalmahin damdamin ko sa'yo. Di ko na mapigilan, oh,
Sa bawat titig ng mata, ako'y lalong nalulula. Di maalis na kaba sa aking dibdib, sasabog na sigurado sa aking damdamin. Pero sa'yo'y di makaamin, at baka bukas di mo na ako pansinin. No, wag naman sana. Di naman yata tulad ko ang type mo, pero sa tuwing nasusulyap ang ngiti mo, pwede bang sa'yo nakarako, nagigigil ako.
pakalmahin damdamin ko sa'yo. Wag mo kong sisihin, pakalmahin damdamin ko sa'yo. Di ko na mapigilan, ako'y nahulog na, nahulog na. Ako'y sasaluhin mo ba pakalmahin damdamin ko sa'yo. Wag mo kong sisihin, pakalmahin damdamin ko sa'yo. Di ko na mapigilan, pakalmahin damdamin ko sa'yo. Di ko na mapigilan, pakalmahin damdamin. Pakalmahin damdamin ko sa'yo. Wag mo kong sisihin, pakalmahin.
Grabe yun, oh. Oh,
Talagang tumindig yung balahibo ko dito, Travis.
of course. Grabe yung lamig ng boses ni Ate Ruth, no? And yung chord choices
Oo.
ni Kuya Louie. Grabe,
Oo,
big
talaga.
brain. Kung kaya ko lang paliwanag dito pero
Yes. Oo,
Yes.
talagang mararamdaman mong it's Burmans na talaga, no? Talagang it touches the heart. Diba?
Yeah, and it touches the heart in such a stripped back setting. Dalawa lang sila with simple instruments and yet sobrang
Yes.
daming na
Yes.
bring up. Pero
Oo.
of course, may single version yan sa YouTube. And kung
Oh,
gusto natin
yes.
marinig yung band and everything, no,
Mhm.
stream natin yung kanilang single, yung single
Yes.
ng Letrang Norte na Kalma.
Yeah,
After nito,
as we always say, Travis, support local.
support
At ayan,
local.
mukhang gising na rin ang ating audiences na nasa live stream, no? We enjoy the performances so much, so thank you po to our performers.
And now, partner, as we've mentioned before, many of us are big fans of Hallyu and ended up falling in love with Korean culture. Today, we will be joined by panelists from different organizations and universities to discuss the three I's of Hallyu.
Correct ka dyan, Travis, no? The three I's po refer to the influence, impact, and interaction of Korean culture in the Philippines. Yun pala yung partner, yun yung sinasabi natin kaninang three I's.
Oh, at ito na nga yun, Von. Let's introduce our panelists.
Go!
So for our first panelist and also our moderator, she's a member of UP Arirang and currently in her senior year as a tourism student at the Asian Institute of Tourism UP Diliman. Aside from being a student by day, she's also a content creator, being the one whole of the podcast show Pod Stories ni Adarna, where she usually talks about K-pop, other pop and social culture, personal stories, and anything under the sun. She's also a K-pop cover dancer, a freelance spoken word poetry artist. Partner, she's no other than Miss Adarna Palad.
Yes.
So let's welcome her in.
Hi, Ate Adar.
Hi, thank you, Von and Travis.
Yes. Hoping you're having a great day, Ate Adar.
Yes, I'm very excited actually na I know I'm back in Arirang. Back in
Yes.
duties in Arirang, yes.
Yes.
And then, ang dami ko rin nakikita mga familiar faces na sa comment section. Siguro
True.
kung natatandaan ninyo yung mayroon tayong PKYF, di ba? Last time.
Yes.
So, yan,
Yes.
yung mga nakikita ko familiar faces sa comment section na nakita ko rin when I was hosting that event ng UP Arirang.
Yes. We'll hear more from Ate Adar later. So let's proceed to our next panelist. Our next panelist is a fourth-year chemistry education student who has developed her adoration towards Korean music, culture, and entertainment since she was 13. She is currently the performance committee head for Dance of Anyong PNU, but also has served as vice president and president during the preceding academic years. With years built by self-taught knowledge on the Korean language and incorporation of the Korean lifestyle through food, products, and fashion trends, she hopes to be both an active contributor and listener for today. Partner, let's warmly welcome Ms. 𝐊-𝐅𝐫𝐢𝐞𝐧𝐝.
And also, partner, joining us today is a fourth-year BS Public Health student from the University of the Philippines, Manila. She's the co-vice president for public relations of UP Manila's Korean Cultural Organization, DEBAC UPM. She has been a close follower of K-culture since 2013. Partner, her fascination for K-culture has led her to immerse herself in online fandom communities, meet various people across the globe, and engage in short Korean language workshops. Welcome to the event, Ms. Pauline Beniz E. Castro.
And now, partner, to complete our panelists, he is currently a third-year college student at Far Eastern University, taking up BA Interdisciplinary Studies under Philippine Art, Culture, and Society track. He is the current secretary of FEU Interdisciplinary Studies Society, the duly recognized academic organization of his degree program. He is also currently a fellow at Rappler Fact-Checking Mentoring Program. In his spare time, he watches K-dramas to take a breather from his daily grind. Our last panelist, let's meet Mr. Patrick Kenneth Culala.
And of course, our K-Barkadas today are very much welcome to join our discussion and ask questions. So if you have any insight or question for our panelists, i-comment nyo lamang po yan sa ating comment section sa live stream.
Yes. Ako, partner, excited na talaga ako knowing na talagang knowing the backgrounds of our panelists today. Ikaw ba, Travis?
Of course, ako din, super excited ko sa magaganap na talk na yun, and I will take notes.
Yes, same. Now to discuss the three I's of Hallyu, we give the air to our panelists.
Okay, thank you, Travis and Von, for introducing us. And also, hi to my fellow panelists and also to everyone who's watching. Tandaan ninyo, kasama kayo sa usapan na to. So, to start our talk show, so before this thing actually happened, UP Arirang and UPKRT conducted a survey and asked people kung ano yung unang first word na naiisip nila, yung first word na naiisip nila when they hear the word Korea. And sa result ng survey natin, majority of the respondents says that ang unang naiisip nila from the word Korea is K-pop. And kung titignan natin yung data, majority ng mga sumagot is with the ages 12 to 17 years old. So gusto ko munang tanungin yung mga panelists natin. Ano yung first thing din na pumapasok sa isip niyo pag narinig niyo yung word na Korea? Simulan natin kay Erica.
Yeah. Hi, rinig na po ba?
Yes, very clear.
Thank you. Okay. I think along with the answers of the participants sa survey, K-pop din yung unang pumapasok sa isip ko. Although now, syempre, since medyo matagal na, mas naiisip ko na rin yung parang entertainment in general. Parang yung lahat ng nako-consume like yung K-pop, K-drama, and all the likes, like variety shows. So parang in general, yun na yung unang pumapasok sa isip ko since yung exposure, grabe na rin yung exposure nung pati yung shows nila eh. Dati kasi parang K-pop lang yung talagang nakikilala sa Philippines, no? So ngayon parang marami na silang nai-include na kagaya ng mga variety shows na tatagalize na rin. So ayun, yun yung naiisip.
And yes, naman next natin si Patrick.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me. No, for me naman, siguro yung distinction ko ay I'm a casual consumer ng Hallyu. So, I only consume K-drama and para sa akin K-drama talaga yung exposure. Una ko narinig for if the word Korea comes from K-drama sa akin.
Okay. And then next si Pauline.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. So similar sa naging results ng survey, syempre for me, K-pop din. Though I want to add din yung K-food, syempre, kasi yan, yung samgyup natin ngayon, like parang ever since nag-boom talaga yung K-culture dito sa Philippines, talagang yung staple na ng college students, kumari after exam, samgyup tayo, ganun. So, ayun, similar din sa audience. Thank you.
And then kung napapansin rin natin, no, siguro yung sagot natin dito is depende kung kailan tayo nag-start mahilig sa K-pop or ma-expose doon. Kasi kung kagaya nga ng binanggit ko kanina, yung survey is majority 12 to 17 years old yung nagsabi na K-pop yung first na naiisip nila. Siguro rin kung tatanungin mo ko 10 years from now, 10 years ago, siguro ang sasabihin ko rin is K-drama. And then siguro after 8 years, siguro 8 years ago, magiging K-pop na. And then ngayon, more on, sasagutin ko na is culture or whatever. So ngayon, pag-uusapan natin yung tatlong eyes of Hallyu here in the Philippines. So kanina binanggit rin to ni Von sa ni Travis, yung influence, yung on lifestyle, food, product, fashion, then yung impact, Korean language learning, drama or movie adaptation, and interaction, K-culture student organizations, kung ano yung ginagawa natin ngayon na we're from different organizations. So, pero we come together to talk about, Hallyu, about K-pop, about Korean culture. Okay, so for our audience, again, you can always comment down your insights about this. So, simulan natin dun sa influence. Gusto kong tanungin, paano kayo nag-start na like talagang ma-expose first time sa Hallyu? Unahin natin si Paul.
So for me kasi, like I used to be exposed muna kasi sa mga drama. Like, yung grandma ko kasi, mahilig siya bumili nung sa mga bangketa ng mga bala ng K-drama. So, yun.
Yung
So,
mga pirated.
yes, yung pirated na
Yeah.
gano'n. So isasaksak niya yun sa DVD. Tas nung una hindi ko nage-gets kasi pinagtiyatiyagaan niya yung subtitles, gano'n. Tapos bale parang nasanay na lang ako laging nakikinig yung lola ko sa mga K-drama na gano'n. Then afterward, siyempre nag-expand yung interest ko, napunta ako sa K-pop. So yan yung story of my life kung paano ako na-expose sa K-culture.
Oo. Alam mo yun, ito rin yung kasagsagan na no, na usong-uso yung mga Tagalog dub sa
Yes,
sa mga
yes.
sa TV, sa GMA, sa ABS,
Yes.
ayan, usong-uso yung mga mga K-drama na nakatagalog. So doon din yung mga una early exposure natin. So ikaw naman, Patrick, paano ka unang na-expose sa Hallyu content?
Right. So that's actually a good question. No? So siguro if as far as I can remember, sa television talaga yung mga Tagalog dubs, no? Malaking bahagi 'yon ng naging pagkahilig ko sa K-culture. No? Yun yung parang pinakauna kong exposure. Naalala ko yung isang television series, Jewel in the Palace yata 'yon.
Yes, We Will in the Palace,
So I think
Jumong, ayun magkakasunod.
Yeah, Jumong. I think that yung mga unang encounter ko sa Korean culture.
Oo, tama yan. At alam ko, nakaka-relate doon yung mga nanonood sa atin ngayon. Kasi talagang doon nagsimula yung kaya nga yung mga channel na yan, nag-aagawan sila kung sino ba talaga ang home of Asian novelas. Kasi nga, di ba, doon tayo unang na-expose doon sa mga Tagalog dub na drama. Okay, ikaw naman, Erica, like, paano ka unang na-expose sa Hallyu content?
Ayan. Tingin ko for my experience, maraming makaka-relate especially sa age ko. Kasi nung elementary tayo, sobrang yung mga hit songs, alam nyo naman kagaya nung Wonder Girls, ayan, Nobody, and yung mga kanta ni Sai, ayan, di ba? So, parang doon pa lang, like 21 din yan. Doon pa lang, na-expose na ako sa mismong music. And, syempre, bilang bata na, syempre, hindi rin naman tayo, wala kaming sariling PC, so pupunta pa ako ng com shop, tapos, yun ang i-jam ko sa computer shop para lang makita yung mga MV, ganyan. So, feeling ko yun din yung first experience nung iba na kagaya na age natin.
Saka dati hindi pa uso yung mga streaming, no? Yung gagawin natin, yung mga second gen dyan, yung da-download yung music video, tapos mamaulit-ulitin. Siguro hindi natin yung ginawa, baka matagal na tayong mga nakahawa 100 million views, yung mga MV ng SNSD, ganyan. Ayan. So sa tingin nyo ba, kasi di ba kasabi nga natin kanina, nag-start tayo na ma-expose sa K-drama, tapos sa K-pop, ganyan. Paano kaya siya nag-shift to, ang dami na kasi halimbawa to K-food, to K-fashion, tapos to other Korean-produced products. Kasi ngayon, kapag sinabi mo ng K-pop, it's not anymore like boxed into a genre of music. Like, ang dami na niyang sakop. Isa na siyang, buo na siya. Kaya nga natin mas prefer tinatawag na Hallyu, right? So ano kaya sa tingin niyo? Paano kaya yung naging shift niya? Kahit sino sa inyo pwede sumagot. Go lang. Okay, so Pauline, naisip mo ba kung paano kaya biglang nag-shift like yung interest ng mga tao from just staying sa K-drama to K-pop?
For me, I think nakatulong yung, 'di ba, parang uso na ngayon sa mga K-drama na K-pop idols din yung kumakanta ng OSTs. So parang kapag na-LSS sila doon sa music, sine-search nila. So parang sino kaya kumanta nito? And then yun na yun, parang pag na-interest ka doon, magtutuloy-tuloy na yung want mo na alamin kung sino tong artist na to, nasa band ba siya, anong girl band or boy band, ganon. Tapos nakatulong din, I think, yung social media. Kasi super dali na lang na mag-share ng interest ng mga tao ngayon. And that's my opinion.
Oo. Tapos ngayon, di ba, tapos pati sa K-fashion. Sa K-fashion, I would like to ask Erica, ano sa tingin mo yung yung parang naging point na unti-unti na yung tayo, lalo na dito sa Philippines, na hindi na lang tayo basta nakikinig, pero ang laki na ng influence ng K-fashion sa sa daily living natin, as in everything you see. Pag pumunta ka sa mall, laging may K something. Ginagamit na nila ng mga companies for marketing. Sa marketing nila yung paglagay lang ng K, minsan 'di ba, parang kahit hindi mo naman sure kung galing Korea ba talaga yun, pero lagay nila K-style something. So, ano sa tingin mo yung like naging turning point nun? Like, paano kaya siya nagsimula na ganun?
Ayan. So, tingin ko yung turning point is parang naging domino effect siya, di ba? So, parang people started liking K-pop and K-drama lang. And then, idagdag ko na rin yung sinabi ni Miss Pauline, no, na dahil nga rin sa social media, so, na-expose din na may ganito palang variety shows or reality shows yung mga mismong K-pop idols na parang they are fan of. So, they tend to watch that. Then, after that, so, nalaman nila yung parang more on personality. Parang tingin ko yung naging selling point nung parang buong K-culture is yung they are able to show how real these idols are. Although hindi nga tayo sure, di ba, kung, I mean, on the camera, what they show, parang they relate to it na ganito yung pamumuhay nila. And then, after, parang they tend to fall in love with the personalities, no? We tend to follow what their trends are. So, halimbawa, if you're exposed to girl groups, mas nahuhumaling ka sa how they dress themselves. So, parang maisip natin na, ay, ang cute, ganyan. So, di ba, parang ang lahat na ngayon, parang attractive kapag Korean-inspired, parang ganito yung sale ng dresses, ganyan, or something. So, tingin ko, dun nag-root nung parang nagsabay-sabay Sockmed exposure, and then parang mas na-indulge yung mga tao na manood more on labas sa kanilang music, and then dun sa K-drama rin, parang gano'n.
Oo, tama yan. And for our audience, i-comment down ninyo rin, pwede nyo i-share sa amin kung saan ba kayo unang na-expose sa Hallyu content para naman malaman namin kung talagang kung pareho ba tayo, nakarelate pa kayo dun sa mga nabanggit namin. Ngayon, dahil nabanggit nyo nga na ganun yung naging influence talaga from K-drama or K-pop na pumunta sa fashion, tapos yung personality dahil pina-follow natin yung mga idols, na-adapt natin sa lifestyle. Ngayon naman, yung punta tayo dun sa impact niya, like, aware ako na tayong lahat ay talagang nag-aaral ng Korean language. Like, kay Patrick, I would like to ask, like, ganun ba talaga halaki yung impact ng K-drama sa'yo na nag-start ka talagang mag-aral ng Korean language? Like, ano yung pinaka-initial reason mo kung bakit ka nag-aral ng Korean language and nag-aaral ng Korean language?
Siguro in Korean culture in general, no, siguro gusto nating mas talagang makarelate dun sa mismong storya. I understand kung bakit nag-aaral ng Korean language yung mga mahilig, mga K-drama enthusiasts, dahil gusto talaga nilang maintindihan yung sinasabi, no, without burden, burden of subtitles. Gusto na talaga nilang yung first hand talaga na meaning ng mga sinasabi. So I think dahil doon, no.
Oo. Gusto ko malaman, i-share nyo nga yung first time ninyong mag-attempt mag-aral ng Korean language. Pauline, pwede mo bang i-share sa amin kung paano ka unang nag-start mag-aral ng Korean?
For me, I think 2013 yun. So, high school ako. So, parang nag-boom din kasi yung K-pop nun. Parang era ng EXO. Tapos, parang buong klase ko kasi lahat naging K-pop fans. Then, ayun lang, parang dahil sa interest na yun, na-curious din kami mag-aral ng Hangul. So, yung classmates ko, nagdadala sila ng printouts ng mga letters. Tapos, magpapaunahan kami magbasa, ganun. Then, eventually, parang nasanay na lang ako na binabasa ko siya. Although, di pa siya fully naiintindihan. Pero, parang achievement unlock na kasi yung nababasa mo yung letters. Ayun yung for me.
Tama, no. Talaga yung nagsimula yan sa mga, aral-aral muna ng Hangul, ganyan. And then pagdating ng college, akala talaga tayo, most of us, dun lang nag-start na talaga mag-take ng Korean classes. Okay, so, yung mga nasa audience natin, pwede kayong mag-share kung paano ba kayo nag-start na na mag-aral ng Korean or kung ano yung mga nagdala sa inyo talaga sa K-culture. And may marami ako nakikita dito na may times daw na kahit translated, iba pa rin yung effect kapag daw nagigets mo yung joke sa K-drama. Ayan, tama yan. Minsan, biggest achievement yan pag bigla mong naintindihan yung joke kahit hindi ka nagbe-base dun sa subtitle. Okay. Ayan, may sinabi rin dito si Alodia na ang saya rin po kasi kapag especially fan kayo ng K-pop, tapos kapag nakikinig kayo ng music nila, naiintindihan mo yung meaning talaga ng kanta without looking up the translation. Totoo. Alam ko nakaka-relate din yung mga fellow panelists. Magbigay nga kayo ng example. So, sino ba dito sa ating apat yung meron bang fan ng 17 dito? Like, meron ba dito? Or kung kahit anong boy group or girl group. Kasi kadalasan kasi ng mga lyrics talaga ng kanta nila. Minsan pag naintindihan mo, parang iba yung impact. Iba yung impact na nag-check ka sa translation kaysa dun sa kapag talagang organic mong naintindihan yung word. Kasi minsan bumababaw talaga yung meaning. Okay, so dahil napag-usapan natin kanina yung influence saka yung impact nga ayan na nag-learn tayo ng language and all. Ngayon naman sa interaction. Kasi tayo, ito mismo yung yung interaction na ibig sabihin nitong sa survey results natin, no? Na marami na from different organizations tayo. And yung majority ng mga organizations natin is nabuo because of Hallyu or Korean culture. Kagaya for example, sa UP Arirang, kaya siya nabuhay dahil sa pag-rise ng Hallyu sa Philippines. Okay, so sa tingin ninyo, paano tayo na members of Korean culture organizations, paano kaya tayo nakaka-contribute mismo sa community, Filipino-Korean community, especially sa mga Korean migrants in the Philippines or Filipino migrants sa Korea? Pwede ba natin si Erica? Okay. So, I guess, pwede mo i-share kung ano yung pwedeng contribution ng, halimbawa, ng anyong PNU in that. Like, what do you think?
For anyong PNU Hanmonsa, one mission kasi namin is to break the barriers, or in other words, we make people or the PNU community specifically na to be open and accepting that we are fans or we are fans of this Korean culture and everything that comes with it. Kasi nga so looking at it in a bigger scale, siguro ang aim namin is to help contribute dun sa part na maging open ang Filipinos mismo na. Kasi we can't deny na some Filipinos are still not generally accepting na when they hear na ay K-pop fan ka, parang may negative connotation agad na parang you're less nationalistic or patriotic to the Philippines. So doon ang one aim ng organization namin is to gather members, and these members or we as members are able to propagate the Korean culture, and it's not like forcing you to like it, but to generally accept us that we like this genre of music or this variety shows or reality shows that we watch, these K-dramas, that we consume these entertainment platforms, di ba? So, tingin ko doon nag-fall na kung ano yung mismong maka-contribute natin as an organization. Ayun.
Oo, tama yan. No? So, parang nag-start from merely being a K-pop fan, di ba? Parang you contribute by breaking the barrier between kung if ever man merong misunderstanding between the Filipino culture or the Korean culture. Ayan. So, I assume na yung mga tawag sa audience natin, yung iba siguro sa kanila is members ng UP Arirang or ng anyong PNU or ng Debak UPM or taga-ITS Society of FEU. So, I guess, malaki talaga yung contribution ng mga Korean culture organizations when it's in terms of promoting cultural exchange. Ayan. So, pwede nyo bang i-share, like, ano yung mga naging experiences ninyo na, I mean, in promoting Korean culture understanding or, promoting Filipino culture sa Korean. Patrick, meron ka bang pwedeng i-share na ganong experience?
Siguro clarify ko lang na yung Idea Society is my degree program, no. Pero hopefully magkaroon ng special interest group din special interest org din sa university namin dahil ramdam mo din naman yung passionate ng community namin, no. In appreciation to Hallyu and Korean popular culture. So, yun. I think sana magkaroon ng special interest.
Oo nga. Kasi syempre, for sure maraming students din sa inyo ang very talagang interested sa Korean culture, no? And if gagawa nga kayo ng special interest na org, talagang maraming sasali dyan. Okay, ikaw ba, Pauline, meron ka bang experience na pwedeng i-share and where you get to promote the Filipino culture sa Korea and, or promote Korean cultural exchange to Filipinos as a member of DEBA QTF?
For DEBAC, just recently kasi we had this language workshop. So yung speaker namin, so may lahi siyang Korean and then, so syempre maraming umattend, ganyan. And then nagtatanong sila, parang yung sa grammar kasi ng Korea, ganyan-ganyan. So parang sinasabi nila, sa Filipino ganito yung structure ng sentence. Bakit ganito, ganyan yung sa Korea kapag sinulat na namin, ganyan. So in that small way lang, I believe yung organization namin napa-facilitate na magkaroon ng exchange yung kahit sa difference man lang sa language between Filipinos and Koreans.
Okay. So, ayun din, no, tama yun. Nakarelate din ako dyan about sa learning Korean grammar. Kasi parang i-compare mo sa Filipino. Kasi, since yung UP Arirang, nag-offer kami ng free Korean classes. So, usually, mga natatanong yan ng mga first time na nag-take students. Okay. So, I guess we're out of time. Okay. So, pero marami pa tayong comments dito na mga shinare nila yung mga favorite nila ng mga K-drama, sa mga group. Ayun, marami dito nagsabi na nag-start sila nung high school dahil yung first love daw niya, gusto yung SNSD, o di ba, ang ganda dahil sa first love na punta sa K-pop. Ayan. And then, ito, sabi, last na itong pasahin natin yung comment ni Alicia Dane Talavera. Sabi niya, I was 11 years old when I started to learn Korean language and still improving. Ayan. At alam ko, yung mga panelists natin nakaka-relate doon, maaga tayong mga nag-start ng mag-aral ng Korean. Ako rin, pagkakatanda ko, 11 years old ako nag-start na mag-aral ng Korean. And yes, UP Korean Research Center said that if you wish to take Korean language classes offered by the UP Department of Linguistics, check out the link that they commented. Okay, so wala na tayong oras, but I'm sure our organizations have some activities in the future too. So to my fellow panelists, you can take this chance to invite our viewers to your future activities and projects. So unahin natin kay Erica.
Ayan. Hello, good afternoon everyone. So for this year, we don't have any parang public open to all events naman. But however, you can like our Facebook page and yung PNU, then open and close parenthesis Korean Culture Organization. And my YouTube account din kami where you can see our performances ng face-to-face pa and of course ng online din. And if I may promote then as early as now, we do a annual event, our major annual event, Manse. So we have we already have invited Hallyu multiple times on that event, and we hope to invite more of you as well, especially now that we are exposed in more of these organizations. So ayun, yun lang naman for me.
Okay, thank you. And next, si Pauline.
Ayan. So, hello everyone. So, I'm Pauline Castro from Daybak UPM. So, as of the moment, we have no event pa naman to promote, though we just concluded kasi last October 30 yung Korean language workshop namin. So, I just want to take this opportunity na lang to promote my organization. You can like our Facebook page, Daybak UPM, especially if may mga UP Manila students na currently nagwa-watch dito and have yet to know na may Korean cultural organization pala sa UPM. And also you can follow us on our Twitter, same lang ang username. That's all, and I hope everyone has a good day. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And Patrick?
Siguro ako, I don't have anything specific to promote. Sobrang nag-enjoy lang ako to hear other Hallyu enthusiasts, marinig yung sentiments nila, and hopefully kami makapag-establish kami ng special interest org din sa university namin. No? So, yan.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. And also, I would like you to encourage everyone to also follow UP Arirang social media account to check all the Korean culture content that we have and also to stay updated on our future events. Okay, that's all, and thank you very much to our panelists and also our audience.
Yes, thank you so much po for your meaningful insights, panelists. So ikaw ba,
Okay.
Travis, anong napulot mo kanina dun sa talk show natin?
Well, for one, sobrang nostalgic sa akin nung mga kwento nila, especially din yung mga viewers natin sa comment section. Sobrang nakaka-relate ako sa mga first experiences nila with Hallyu. Ikaw ba, Von? Ano bang first experience mo with Hallyu?
Parang under the same sun naman tayo, Travis, na nostalgic din na kanina nga medyo nabanggit yung pag-rise ng EXO into stardom rather, na kasi sa EXO ako nag-start when it comes to K-pop. Tapos nagtuloy-tuloy na siya hanggang ngayong 2021.
Ako, first encounter ko, hindi ko alam kung pinanganak ka na nito or sobrang bata ka pa siguro. Pero
Oo.
kinder ako nung lumabas yung Jewel in the Palace. Naalala ko pa yung theme song. Ta na 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 da ra ra ra.
Yes. Hindi ko na...
Tapos
oo.
sobrang daming advertisement na hanggang hating gabi yun. Yung mga bata yun nanonood. Parang magsisimula yata yun ng mga 10 p.m. tapos matatapos na ng hating gabi. So sobrang daming advertisement. So si Lady Han, si Lady Choi. Anyway, yun yung unang-una kong Hallyu experience. Tapos din pala, uso din nun yung Winter Sonata. Kinder ako nun.
Yes. Oo.
Anyway, so yun
yung
lang
Jewel
naman.
in the Palace. Oo. Yung Jewel in the Palace naman, na-encounter ko siya sa GMA, di ba? Yung parang Heart of Asia yata, doon siya dinap. I'm not sure.
Wait, nabutan mo? Oh,
Parang
anyway.
napapasadahan ng mata ko dati. Parang naririnig ko Jewel in the Palace.
Okay,
so ayan, we want... Yeah, go.
Go.
So we also acknowledge the comment of Sir Marco Angulo. Congrats, UP Arirang. Thank you po, Sir Marco.
Okay, so
Go, Travis.
So dahil busog tayo sa next sa mga naging sa mga naging interactions and insights kanina, meron tayo actually mga performances. So hindi lang pala talk show yung meron tayo, pero
yes,
excited din ako sa next batch ng performers natin yan.
Yes, of course, Travis. No, our next group of performers consists of grade 10 students from Las Piñas High School SPFL Korean program. They will be reading some passages of Korean essays. Everyone, let's give it up for Las Piñas High School students.
기억을 못하는 우리도 마찬가지다.
오늘만 해도 또 새로운 아침을 맞은 행복, 밥 먹는 행복, 머리를 감는 행복, 새 양말을 신는 행복, 커피를 마시는 행복, 맑은 날의 행복을 느꼈을 텐데 무언가의 이유로 그 행복들을 금세 지워버렸다.
지옥 같은 질근 길, 상사의 질책, 자충나는 조별 과제, 지루한 영어 공부, 갚아야 할 대출자와 원금, 해도 해도 가치 없는 집안일 등등등.
하지만 다행인 건
우리에겐
우리에겐
내일이라는
내일이라는
행복이
행복이
남아있다는 것.
남아있다는 것.
갈등을 피하기 위해 침묵하는 건 그저 갈등을 다른 형태로 만드는 것이고, 분노로 관계를 망가뜨리거나 참다가 병이 나는 것 모두 건강한 자기 표현을 배우지 못한 비극인 것이다. 그렇기에 익숙하지 않아서, 상대의 반응이 두려워서, 방법을 몰라서 어색하고 힘들게 느껴지겠지만 감정을 표현하는 연습을 해야 한다. 그걸 꼭 말로 해야 하냐고 묻고 싶겠지만 그걸 꼭 말로 해야 할 때가 있다. 건강하고 원활한 관계를 위하여, 당신의 마음을 위하여, 삶에 당신의 목소리가 필요한 순간이다.
많은 사람이 말다툼을 시작하면 마치 라디오가 된 것처럼 상대의 말은 듣지도 않고 자기 말만 반복한다. 자세히 들어보면 결국은 내 말은 인정해달라는 외침인데, 상대도 같은 말만 하며 상대를 인정하지 않으니 갈등은 계속될 수밖에 없다. 이런 상황을 전환시킬 수 있는 치트키는 상대의 말에서 작은 진실이라도 밝혀나면 그럴 수도 있겠다, 네 말이 옳다 라고 인정해주는 것이다. 상대의 말을 인정한다고 해서 내 말이 틀린 게 되어버리거나 내가 가해자가 되는 건 아니다. 상처뿐인 만족감 때문에 깊은 유대와 애정을 잃어버려도 괜찮은가? 사랑은 인내의 가치를 믿을 때만 얻을 수 있다. 관계에 있어 수많은 기술이 있겠지만 가장 중요한 건 갈등의 순간에 사랑을 택하는 용기다. 사랑을 원한다면 사랑을 택하자.
무표정한 100명 중 웃고 있는 단 한 명이 있다면 그것이 당신이도록, 모두가 침묵하고 단 한 명이 노래한다면 그것이 당신이도록, 넘어져도 뚝뚝 털고 일어서는 단 한 명이 있다면 그것이 당신이도록, 사랑은 말하지 않은 무리 중 사랑을 굳게 믿는 단 한 명이 있다면 그것이 당신이도록, 처음으로 웃고 처음으로 노래하고 처음으로 일어서고 처음으로 사랑하는 것을 두려워하지 말라. 그래야 두 번째로 웃는 사람, 세 번째로 노래하는 사람, 네 번째로 일어서는 사람, 다섯 번째로 사랑하는 사람이 생겨날 테니, 당신을 닮은 더 많은 사람들이 세상을 아름답게 할 테니, 살만한 세상을 만드는 데는 처음부터 많은 사람이 필요한 것은 아니다.
Ayan, talagang sobrang huhusay nila magsalita in Korean. personally nakakainggit, Travis, talaga.
Gaya nga ng sinabi ng mga panelists natin kanina, start early talaga para tuloy-tuloy na. And
Oo.
super excited ako sa future ng mga batang ito.
And actually, di ba, dinaig nila tayo sa pagsasalita ng Korean. Kasi ako personally, ang naaaral ko pa lang is yung Hangul characters. So hindi pa talaga ako like even reading or even knowing some Korean words. Wala pa akong alam. Pero sila, that was so amazing.
Ako, nagbubuhol-buhol yung dila ko pag nagbabasa ako ng mga mahabang pangungusap na Koreano.
Yes.
Pero, more than yung pagsasalita nila, sobrang meaningful din ng mga messages na pinili nila explain. 사랑을 원한다면, 사랑을 택하자. So, kung gusto natin ng pagmamahal, piliin din natin ng pagmamahal. Tsaka yung huling poem, ang sabi sa huling poem, na be the first one to laugh, be the first one to stand when everyone has fallen, and be the first one to love. And soon enough, other people will love, other people will stand, other people will laugh, and the world will be a better place. Napakagandang mensahe, di ba? And I think yun din yung goal natin with this event, para maging ganun tayong klaseng mga Koreanists and human beings as well, na mapapaganda natin yung mundo with our interactions.
Yes, and we also have to be like, maging mas malalalim ng mga tao na mayroong pagpapahalaga sa iba't ibang worldviews. And also, alam mo ba, Travis, yung mga students na narinig natin kanina, they learned Korean as a special program in foreign language or SPFL under the guidance of teachers Irish Zulweta and teacher Kat Calderon. So, yan.
Wow. So, alam natin na ina-absorb pa rin ng audience natin yung mga nakita nila. Pero, meron tayong last performers for today.
Oh. Parang kilala ko ata ito, Travis.
Yes, kilala mo nga. Kilala ko rin.
Oo. Now, for K-Friends Day partner, this duo passionately sought to collaborate with one another since they share a similar vocal style. Now, to grace us with their soothing vocals, UP Arirang proudly presents Anya and Easy with their cover of Strawberry Moon by IU.
자리 익어가니 서둘러 젊은 피야 믿을래 한 성이 뜰고 사랑이 어지러이 떠다니는 밤이야 너라가 사뿐 이루려 팽팽한 어둠 사이로 떠오르는 기분이 가득한 지옥에 허괴정해도 두렵진 않을 거야 우르르 위로 커다란 strawberry moon hands go 나에게 너를 맡겨볼래 바람을 실어줄려 날아오르는 기분 좋고 삶이 어떻게 더 완벽해 다시 마주하기 어려운 행운이야 온몸에 심장이 뛰어 여기 거의 헤매고 그 맘이야 너에게 이룰 수 있다면 맞잡은 서로의 손으로 조립구를 허무히 모아람의 끝과 끝 또 위아래로 비행을 떠날 거야 우리들이 밀어 거대한 strawberry moon hands go 나에게 너를 맡겨볼래 바람을 쐬어줄래
Nice, nice. Very, very K-pop idol material talaga, Travis. Grabe, kinikilig ako
Super,
doon sa kanta.
super proud ako kay Izzy tsaka kay Anya. Since
Yes.
syempre sila din yung mga madalas kong kausap with yung
Yeah.
day-to-day Arirang stuff natin.
Yes,
So,
yes.
nakakataba lang din ang puso na panoorin sila. And
Oo,
grabe yung
and
production quality, no? And yung attention sa
yes.
detail. Alam nyo ba guys,
Yes.
naka-color grade yun?
Yes,
Hindi
yes.
halata sa umpisa, pero pink
Mm,
siya, guys.
oo, medyo
Oo.
red-orange na medyo pink,
Mm.
diba? Talagang
May
to just
art
be in
direction.
oo, yes, art direction. And
Social.
just be in branding. Kasi nga, strawberry moon, so dapat kakulay nila yung strawberry. Diba? Napakagaling. And also, yung cover nila, sobrang perfect ng vocals and visuals nila. Talagang, sa Arirang, wala na tayong mahihingi pang iba. Lahat nasa Arirang na. Kaya naman guys, join UP Arirang. Di ba, Travis?
Of course. Lalo yung
Yes.
mga artists and singers, kagaya ni Anya tsaka
Yes.
ni Izzy, kung medyo
Oo.
kapareho kayo ng timpla gaya nila,
Yeah.
meron kayong pamilya dito. So,
Tsaka ikaw, di ba,
kung
Travis? Nagpa-perform ka rin, di ba? Oo, di ba? Pati
pero
ako, di ba?
tama. So, practice pa tayo and baka one day maabot din natin yung level nila. Pero for now, sobrang saya lang na panoorin sila, di ba?
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. That being said, Travis, we have discussed the three eyes of Hallyu, and we have also watched the performances. Now, from this moment onward, partner, it's time to talk about the Koreanist projects that were initiated by several institutions and organizations.
So yes, Von, our first presenter is the current president of UP Arirang for the academic year 2021-2022. As a member of Arirang, she served as the Cultural and Academic Affairs Chairperson in the academic year 2019-2020 and the Director for Programs for the first Philippine-Korean Youth Forum in 2021. In 2020, she graduated from Certificate sa Malikhaing Pagsulat sa Filipino and is currently a student of BA Philippine Studies. So to present UP Arirang's Koreanist projects, we have Miss Lady Peña Mora.
Hello, thank you sa introduction, Travis and Von. Okay, so I'll be presenting the projects of UP Arirang for this year. So before that, I would like to introduce UP Arirang. So baka hindi familiar yung iba nating viewers, as Von and Travis calls them, K-Barkadas. So UP Arirang is, or University of the Philippines Arirang, is the premier Filipino-Korean friendship organization sa UP Diliman. So yung members namin ay bound together by our appreciation and passion for Korean culture. Also, na-establish siya noong 2006 in hopes na makatulong sa Korean exchange students na pumapasok sa UP and also para makater yung growing interest ng Filipino students in Korean culture. So ayun, that time kasi 'di ba, kung isipin natin 2006, nagse-start na yung Hallyu wave sa Philippines. And then from then on, the organization aimed to promote cultural understanding and exchange between Koreans and Filipinos. So, very culture focused na org ang Arirang, and very focused din siya sa friendship ng Korea and the Philippines. So, what we do, so one of our projects is Talk Korean Today. In UP Arirang, of course, we believe na, syempre, para successfully exchange ng culture or to understand someone else's culture, mahalaga ring tingnan yung language. So we do teach Korean. It's Talk Korean Today. It's 10 sessions, free Korean lessons. Bi-annual siya. So last time we had one back in February, and right now may ongoing lesson kami, although the applications are closed, pero abang-abang lang sa Arirang page. We will surely have TKT next semester. So abang kayo around February, March, around those times. Of course, aside from language, we also try to introduce the Korean culture during the classes. Right now, online yung classes, but before, yung face-to-face every Saturday siya sa UP Diliman. And then we also have the holiday and trivia postings. So if you guys follow UP Arirang's page, you will see na marami kaming holiday and trivia postings there. We have Tuesdays I Learn, nandun yung trivias and then information and then sinishare din namin yung mga links na namin siya nakuha. Hindi lang siya about Korean culture but also Filipino culture and then sometimes both. So meron din kaming TILD to go even more in-depth sa relationship ng Philippines tsaka ng Korea. As yung goal nga ng org is to foster camaraderie and then to foster a good relationship between the two communities. Also, we have the holiday postings, not just for the Philippines, but also for Korea. Para lang din ma-made aware yung mga viewers, yung mga followers ng UP Arirang page na nag-exist yung mga gantong holiday, anong ginagawa doon. Sometimes it's in text format, image format, sometimes it's in video format. And then we also have, of course, we also recruit new members sa org namin. And then while we recruit, we also teach our members about the culture of Korea and then yung relationship nga ng Philippines and Korea. And then last time, so earlier this year, we had Manila Korean Town. We volunteered in Manila Korea Town Pantry. So Manila Korea Town is an organization siya sa, of course, sa Manila. And then nagtayo sila ng pantry to help the Filipino communities sa Manila na kailangan ng tulong. And then UP Arirang volunteered because this is a really great step para ayun yung mapalalim yung relationship ng dalawang bansa and then ng dalawang community na nasa Pilipinas. And then lastly, we had the Philippine Korean Youth Forum. Ito, ang goal nito is to promote the collaboration and exchange among Philippine and Korean youth. And then, syempre, to educate each other tungkol dun sa mga anong nangyayari sa bansang to. For example, yung mga Filipino, we want them to know what is happening in Korea, what can we learn from it, and then for the Koreans, what is happening in the Philippines and what can we learn from it. And then also to understand the relationship better. Kasi ayun, the youth will play a huge role sa pag-foster ng relationship ng dalawang bansa in the future. Okay, so I think it's very important to talk about these two questions. So how can Korea-related organizations help in continuing sustainable partnerships with Korea? And then how can we help in strengthening the common understanding of Philippine-Korean relations? So the keyword here is understanding. So one, we have to educate ourselves. We have to appreciate the differences and the similarities the Philippines and Korea has. So particularly sa culture, kasi di ba, we have different cultures. So if we wouldn't want to create misunderstandings dahil sa cultural differences, very important na na aralin mo or i-educate mo yung sarili mo and then i-educate mo yung ibang tao tungkol sa culture ng isa pa. Just so meron kayong understanding. Of course, promote cultural exchange. So as youth or as organizations, kailangan natin mag-promote ng cultural exchange. Hindi naman kailangan na super big na event for cultural exchange. Pwede siyang event na pwede siyang basta magbigay lang kayo ng avenue na para magkaroon ng peaceful exchanges yung mga Koreans and mga Filipinos. So Arirang is continuously trying to do just that. So we try to get involved nga dun sa mga Korean exchange students, and then recently we are trying to connect with Koreans na interested sa Philippine culture so that merong mutual exchange na mangyayari sa Filipinos and then sa Koreans. And then communicate. So of course, we have to communicate with not just among ourselves sa loob ng organization, but also with the organizations na meron ding interest sa Koreans or sa Korean culture, and then also with the Koreans or Korean organizations na merong interest sa Filipino culture. And lastly, be involved. So we should join programs, join activities, join forums, and then ayun, and then from there we can slowly help sa pag-continue ng or pag-strengthen ng relationship ng Philippines and Korea, especially ng Philippine communities and the Korean communities. Yun lang. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that very impressive presentation, Miss Lady. Now, Travis, for our next presenter is currently the president of Global Korea Scholarship Philippines Alumni Association, or GKS-PHAA, and appointed as GKS Publicity Envoy by National Institute of International Education, Republic of Korea from 2021 to 2023. Now he is currently teaching in the Department of Filipino and Philippine Literature, College of Arts and Letters, University of the Philippines, Diliman, representing GKS and to present GKS PHAA's initiatives. Here is a recorded presentation from Mr. Ronel O. Laranjo. I think
Okay.
we're having technical difficulties, Travis, no? So while we
Yes.
wait, pag-usapan natin yung yung presentation ni Miss Lady kanina, 'di ba? Total, we're both Arirang members, and ano masabi mo about dun sa Talk Korean today? Kasi hindi pa ako nakaka-attend ng isang session.
Yes, actually, ako yung nagmo-moderate ng isang section for TKT this
Oh,
sem, and
nice.
so
So, how's the
it's a
experience?
very
Go.
yeah, medyo sobrang siksik nung klase, no. So at least for this sem, mga ilang oras yung mga 2.5 hours, and meron ding quizzes
Oh.
and exams para ma-check din yung sarili, and it's very, kumbaga parang hitik siya. It's a very full course, no, na
Oo.
basic Korean na magagamit mo, na
Yes.
galing sa TKT. It's very very useful, tsaka kompleto. So mas helpful siya rin, lalo sa mga tao na zero experience in Korean. Yun din yung gusto
Yes.
namin i-encourage.
Mm-mm.
Kung papasok kayo sa TKT na wala talaga kayong kahit anong alam
Mm-mm.
in Korean, mag-aaral pa lang kayo mag-Hangul, mag-aaral pa lang kayo magsalita, or wala kayong alam sa grammar structures, malalaman niyo yun agad lahat sa TKT.
Yes.
So highly encouraging everyone to sign up when it's open, and hope to see you there.
Yes. And with that being said, let's return to Mr. Ronel O. Laranjo for his presentation about GKS PHAS initiatives. Yan, ako Travis, parang nahihirapan yung technical team natin. Pero okay lang, kasi sino nga ba ang ating sunod na speaker? Maybe we can proceed muna. And yung kay Sir Laranjo, we can breathe through his presentation later. Go, Travis.
Okay, so joining us today for his presentation is the director of the Korean Studies program and the full-time instructor at the Department of Political Science at Ateneo de Manila University. He has taught several courses both at the undergraduate and graduate level, including Philippine Politics and Governance, Philippine Foreign Policy, International Relations in the Contemporary World, and Comparative Politics in Asia and Korea-ASEAN Relations.
Also, he graduated with a Master of Arts with a degree in International and Area Studies with specialization in Indian and Southeast Asian Sociocultural Studies from the Hankook University of Foreign Studies, Seoul, Korea in 2015. His research interests include Southeast Asian politics and society, international relations, governance, migration, nationalism, and modern Korean history and culture. Everyone, let us all welcome Mr. Oliver John C. Quintana.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. 안녕하세요, 여러분. First of all, thank you very much to the Korean Cultural Center in the Philippines, the UP Arirang, and the UPKRC for inviting us to be part of this wonderful event. Hello to everyone, especially to our K friends and to all our K barkadas. Here, I am going to present about some of the projects and programs that we have at the Ateneo Korean Studies Program. So the Ateneo Korea Studies Program is an interdisciplinary hub for studying, experiencing, and engaging Korea in Philippine academia and maritime Southeast Asia. Next slide, please. So I'll give you a brief background about our history. So the Ateneo Korea Studies Program is committed to work towards the advancement of interdisciplinary and intercultural approaches to the study of Korea through research, partnerships, and development of Korea-related programs for students, educators, and the general public. We endeavor to introduce, cultivate, and promote Korean studies from a Filipino and Southeast Asian perspective. So paano nga ba nabuo ang Ateneo Korean Studies Program? Next slide, please. Korean Studies in Ateneo de Manila University was first set up in 2012 as the Ateneo Initiative for Korean Studies, a platform for consolidating all Korea-related initiatives in the university. Within a short span of 2 years, the initiative resulted to a minor program in Korean Studies, which was incubated in the Department of Modern Languages in the School of Humanities. A year later, the Korean Studies program was created and is currently housed under the School of Social Sciences. The Korean Studies program of the Ateneo de Manila University is the first of its kind in the country. Of course, this could not have been possible without the support given by the Academy of Korean Studies in the past 10 years. Through close collaboration with other academic departments within Ateneo and with Korean Studies experts and organizations here and abroad, KSP was able to grow and expand with the widest course offerings on Korean Studies for our undergraduate students. We offer a lot of courses that cover themes across various disciplines in the social sciences and humanities. So this is our some of our faculty and staff and members of our team. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so here are some of the activities that we organized. I'm starting from 2020 until 2021 when the pandemic hit us. So last April 2020, this was last year, we launched the 𝐊-𝐅𝐫𝐢𝐞𝐧𝐝 Kumusta. It is a 10-part series of free online workshops, lectures, and activities covering diverse facets of Korean language, politics, history, and culture, led by Filipino and Korean teacher volunteers who were based in different parts of the world. This initiative brought Filipinos and Koreans together in a fun, collaborative, and creative platform, while encouraging people to focus on what we can do and learn positively in a time of crisis and period of physical isolation. No? So these were some of the workshop and seminars that we offered. So we had one professor. We invited a professor to talk about the COVID rebound in Itaewon. We had another one on kimbap making and another one on the Korean entertainment industry. Next slide, please. We also had a very important workshop and a seminar on the Korean War where we invited a Filipino-Korean War veteran to share his stories during the war. So it was attended by a lot of people. And these lectures and workshops were open to the public. Next slide. Last year also, the Korean Studies program hosted the 4th Korea Foundation Ateneo de Manila University Teaching Korea in Philippine Academia. It was an interdisciplinary seminar workshop for Filipino high school teachers. No? It was held last December 2020. No? Sponsored by the Korea Foundation and co-organized with the Department of Education, Loyola Schools of the Ateneo, in cooperation with the Ateneo Teacher Center and Ateneo Salt Institute. This free workshop aims to train local high school teachers in teaching and developing content for Korea-related courses through the conduct of seminar lectures by invited experts in the humanities and social sciences. So it was a 4-day event attended by more than 50 participants from various high schools in the country. So they took part in activities and workshops on how to integrate Korean content in their lesson plans and class activities. It was mentioned earlier, how Korea has become a part of our everyday lives. So the challenge here during the workshop was to allow teachers, to challenge teachers on how to integrate Korea-related topics in their lesson plans. And it went very well. Next slide. In June 2020, and this is an ongoing project/program that we have, we launched the Ateneo Korean Studies Global Classroom, which is a semestral lecture where teachers and academic experts and students, both here and abroad, come together in a virtual classroom to discuss Korea-related topics. So this project is part of the Ateneo's efforts towards indigenizing Korean studies while expanding its various engagements across the globe. You will see here our first 3 KSGC lectures. First, we invited Dr. Lina Lian from the university, from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. So she talked about K-fan entrepreneurship. And then the second one, we also had a very special lecture by Dr. Lee. And the third one was held just this July by Dr. Elfing Huang as well. Next slide. And these two are the most recent ones. We invited Dr. Cederbo Seiji from the Busan National University to talk about traditional mass dance dramas. And a few days ago, we had Dr. Robert Boswell from UCLA to discuss about Korean Buddhism. So these are some of the lectures that we actually organize in order to expand Korean studies, the interest in Korean studies in our university, and of course together with other universities, both here and abroad. Next slide. So here are some of the participants who attended these events. Okay, next slide. We also had a very important conference entitled Emerging Convergence Across the Seas. It is the first conference on Korean studies in maritime Southeast Asia last April this year. So it was made possible with the support of the Korean Studies Promotion Service and the Academy of Korean Studies. This conference aims to contribute to the expansion of Korean studies beyond the Philippines. No? And we wanted to reach out to our maritime Southeast Asian neighbors and establish strong connections between and among leading institutions in the regions. No? So some of the experts that we had who presented during this conference came from, for example, University Malaya from Malaysia, Universitas Gadjah Mada from Indonesia, Universidad Nacional Timor-Leste from East Timor, and of course the National University of Singapore from Singapore. We also invited the director of the KSPS-AKS, Dr. Lee, to give a special message. No? So what was this conference all about? It was really all about discussing the current status of Korean language programs and Korean studies in the different maritime Southeast Asian nations. Next slide. Through continuous research and collaboration with local and international partners, KSP also endeavors to promote the critical study of Korea and the country and contribute to the ongoing efforts in deepening and strengthening relationships between Korea and our neighboring countries, regions, and international community. And of course, this is best seen through the different kinds of research and studies made by our faculty. Next slide. One of the programs that we offer here at sa Ateneo is the minor in Korean studies. No? Under this program, our students are required to complete 15 units or 5 Korea-related courses. No? So aside from developing basic conversational skills, our students also gain a critical understanding of Korea and its role in the region and special relationship with the Philippines. So we have very special electives such as Korean nationalism, Korean cultural heritage. You also have Korean film, Korean economy, and the course that I developed and I am currently teaching, Korea-ASEAN relations. Next slide. We also, of course, constantly engage and reach out to our student organization, the Blue Hankook Society. Through our partnership with Blue Han, we are able to give the students an opportunity to experience actual Filipino-Korean cultural exchange and appreciate different aspects of Korean culture. And I think this is what is also important while identifying similarities with our own. Ano ba yung pagkakapareho ng kulturang Koreano sa kulturang Pilipino? No? And these are some of our projects. The first one is called Sonseng Memes Choice, no? Wherein they actually invited some of our faculty to discuss certain topics in Korean culture that they would like to know more about. So for example, here we have K-drama, and this is also a very interesting topic that is posted on their Facebook page, Women Empowerment. Next page. Next slide, please. We also have the Chuseok story. The Chuseok story is my Chuseok story is one of our projects during the Chuseok celebration, wherein we asked students to share their short essays online, specifically talking about what are they thankful for or who are they thankful for, especially during this pandemic. So these are just some of our projects with Blue Han. And I was telling some of our members, hopefully Blue Han would also reach out to our friends from UP Arirang, from PNU, from UPM, okay, in order to create more synergy and collaborative projects with you guys. So we hope to actually get to meet you one of these days and create more programs and activities for our students. Next slide. Apart from our regular courses, ito very popular nowadays, we also offer extramural language courses open to the public. So we offer this 4 times a year already because of the high demand. No? Everyone wants to learn Korean, and everyone wants to learn Korean for a number of reasons. No? Some want just to understand some of the words in the K-dramas that they watch. Some naman want to learn how to sing, no, the Korean songs and understand them as well. So we offer them every season. So winter, spring, summer, and fall. All you got to do is call, and we'll be there. So please watch out for the next one, which is the winter cycle, happening early part of 2022, maybe January or February. Next slide. We also hold special lectures open to the public. So please follow the KSP page, and you will see, some of the lectures are actually open to the public. You can actually join. No? So here we had a special lecture last Chuseok. No? Of course, a lecture delivered by our very own Dr. Wu, a special lecture on Chuseok. Next slide. Just to end, next year is actually our 10th founding anniversary. So this coming May 2022, KSP will kick off its 10th anniversary with a series of talks, contests, activities, and a special conference. So please join us next year as we launch and celebrate our 10th year anniversary. And please follow our page for the list of these activities. Next slide. Siguro, here are some of the ways that we can further develop and strengthen partnerships in the future. Sabi ko nga, for example, at the level of students, let's have more language exchange programs and events. Maybe we can hold a Korean cafe with one of the organizations, student organizations who took part in the interview a while ago. Okay. And then we continually collaborate with other faculty members and academics when it comes to research and the promotion of inter, multi, and transdisciplinary research. We also continue to partner with local and international HEIs and student organizations. Actually, we work closely with the UPKRC as well. No? We are very good friends with all of the faculty and their staff. We also need to expand our community of local Koreanists within and outside of the academia and foster linkages with Korea-related businesses in the Philippines and the local Korean community here in our country. Next slide. Before we end, allow me to thank some of our partners and our funders. Our heartfelt gratitude goes to the Academy of Korean Studies and the Korea Foundation for their unending support throughout these years, the Embassy of the Republic of Korea, KCC, Ateneo de Manila University, the School of Social Sciences, UPKRC, and other partner institutions and universities, both here and abroad, the 𝐊-𝐅𝐫𝐢𝐞𝐧𝐝 Society, of course, we also have here UP Arirang, the PEFTOC Veterans Association, and other partner organizations. And finally, the next slide. Please reach out to us anytime if you have any questions or if you would like to inquire about the programs and projects that we have. The Ateneo de Manila University Korean Studies program is online. You can email us at ksp.soss@ateneo.edu. Follow us on Facebook, Ateneo Korean Studies, and we are now on Twitter, Ateneo KSP. And we would like to invite everyone to answer our survey as we try to improve all of the programs that we have, bit.ly/AKS survey. So that would be all. Thank you again for inviting me. Maraming salamat po. Kamsahamnida.
Yeah, so kudos Sir Oliver for that very presentation, a very engaging presentation, no? So many fruitful projects now with a wide
Yes.
reach across the world.
Yes.
And so, guys, grabe ang dami ko rin natutunan sa presentation. And if you're
Oo,
interested, again, follow their pages, hit Ateneo KSP a message, and and learn more kasi meron pala tayong ganitong resources na we don't know about as
Yes.
future Koreanists, budding Koreanists, and parang even veteran Koreanists. So thank you very much for that, Sir Oliver. So for our last presenter, she's an assistant professorial fellow at the UP Department of Linguistics, where she has been teaching since 2010. She obtained her PhD at the UP College of Education in 2020 with her dissertation entitled Professorial Identity of Non-Native Teachers of Korean as a Foreign Language as basis for a KFL teacher education program framework. She's passionate about training future generations of the Filipino KFL teachers. She also spends time translating Korean literature to English. So everyone, let's give it up for Dr. Kyungmin Bae.
안녕하세요. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. My presentation will follow Professor Oliver's, and I think it's timely because he overviewed Ateneo KSP, and then this time we can also know about UP Korea Research Center. So my presentation is entitled Localizing Korean Studies in the Philippines through Research and Education. So next slide, please. Yeah, so in my short presentation, I will introduce all of you to UPKRC briefly, and I will explain the curated research agenda and projects we have been carrying out, especially this year. And then how UPKRC's digitization project was also carried out past 2 years. And lastly, I will also add some comments on challenges and prospects of UPKRC. Next slide, please. Yeah, so you can read in this slide how UPKRC was born. We were established in April 2016. And it was established under the UP system. So currently, we are holding the virtual office inside UP Diliman campus. But since it is under the system office, we are reached out by other UP campuses, and we are very pleased when we can work with other UP campuses. So about 2 years ago, we also had a mobile lecture series with UP Cebu, and hopefully we can also go around other campuses when the things are getting better. And then UPKRC serves as a university-wide hub, and we do research and we do some education-related works, but also we are working with some Korean community leaders and community organizations. So I will show you later some more pictures. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is the mission and vision of UPKRC. UPKRC aims to become the leading center for the advancement of Korean studies in the Philippines through research and education. So in the next slide, you can see the diagram here. Next slide, please. How UPKRC is focusing on 3 sectors particularly. So research, education, and then lastly, network. So for the research, we have some kind of conference and workshop and some other education-related activities. And then for the education, this is to foster the future generation of Korean studies, and also like partnering with UP Arirang or some other student-led organizations. We really try to inspire and include students' interest in Korean studies. And then in the networking activities, we try to collaborate with local institutions as well as Korean universities. So GKS Alumni Association, you will watch the video later on, and then KCC and Philippines Korea Society and so on. So hopefully after today's event, we can meet some more Koreanists in the Philippines for our next future event. Next slide, please. So these are our main funding agencies. I think Professor Oliver also mentioned some of these names, that the Korea Foundation and Academy of Korean Studies, we are closely working with them because they are really the major funding sources that support UPKRC for the research activities. And also, like today's event is funded by the Korean Embassy and the Korean Cultural Center. So locally, we are really collaborating with Korean government agencies as well. And non-government agencies such as Korean Women's Association and other organizations are also frequently having a meeting with us. So we can really cater some interest of Filipinos as well as Koreans who live in the Philippines. Next slide, please. So from here, I will show you some pictures of past activities of UPKLC. So this is when, the first one is when we went to UP Cebu for the mobile lecture series. And then the picture below is when we went to UP Manila for the special lecture series. And then in the right side, you can see we were holding the Junior Korean Studies Conference with Ateneo Korean Studies program. Next. And then sometimes we also had some guests from Korea up to 2019 when the travel was quite free. So we had Urihana, which is the advocate organization for the North Korean defector youth group, and then Kookmin University from Seoul, and then the Korean Chamber of Commerce, which is based in Metro Manila. So you can see how UPKRC is trying to localize the Korean studies, not just academic-wise, but try to collaborate with other cultural and some civic organizations in the Philippines as well. Next. So here, the pictures show when we visited the Eastern Hands in Angeles, and also when we visited the workshop operated by the KOICA. So when KOICA has annual volunteers who will be based in the Philippines for 1 or 2 years, they usually invite some experts or someone who can give some overview about the life in the Philippines. So UPKRC participated, and then we just shared some insights about the Philippines and the lifestyle in the Philippines. Next. And in the big picture, you can see a few Filipino scholars in Yonsei University, because this was the very first and so far the last Korean studies Korean study tour when we had in 2018. So hopefully when the COVID is over, we can also bring more UP students to Korea, and we can bring them to different universities in Korea, and also have some cultural experiences in other places. And then in the small pictures in the left side, you can see a Korean Film Fest, which we held up to 2019. And then a Filipino speech contest for Koreans, which we held twice in 2019 and 2020. So currently, because of the COVID-19 situation, these activities are very limited, and we cannot really realistically hold it for now. But hopefully next year we can also continue these endeavors, and we can try our new initiatives with Koreans in the Philippines as well. Next, please. And then I mentioned we also work with the Embassy and Korean Cultural Center, and especially in 2019, it was a very memorable year for the Korea and the Philippines, because it was the 70th anniversary since the diplomatic relations was forged between two countries. So we had some special webinar and some special conference virtually, and we invited some Korean scholars to these conferences as well. Next slide, please. And this was the virtual webinar, which webinar we held with the Asia Center of Seoul National University. So last March, when everything went remote, UPKLC also struggled somewhat because it was our and everyone's first time to transform everything to online space, right? So during that time, it was the very first activity we tried out in partnership with the Seoul National University, and I think we were very grateful for the opportunity, because after this webinar, UPKLC also tried out to reach other Korean universities and Korean organizations. So we attempted some virtual activities after these webinars. So I think, and personally, it was very meaningful, since it was our first trial during the pandemic last year. Next slide, please. So this is another activity we held with the Korean University. It was in partnership with Yonsei University Mira Campus. Mira Campus is situated in Wonju City in Korea. So we invited these graduate students who are taking international studies program in their master's degree. And then we also invited master students from UP and De La Salle University. So it was a short workshop, but I think it was very meaningful for Korean and Filipino students, so that they could exchange some insights, so they could really develop into their term paper or research. So hopefully next year we can also continue this Next Gen Koreanist workshop. Next slide, please. And then, UP Arirang is the main body of today's event, and UPKRC is also closely working with UP Arirang every year. So this K Friends Day is also our first partnership with KCC, all in all. So next year, I think we also have to come up with some more exciting events so that we can meet all of you once again next year. Next slide, please. Yeah, so lastly, I will also show you some pictures of UPKRC's curated research agenda. I think you can click some more. Yeah, so for this year particularly, we focused on the new Southern policy, because this is the public diplomacy framework of the South Korean government. Next slide, please. So to discuss NSP, UPKRC invited some scholars from Korea in 2019. So it was like founding work to study about NSP in the perspective of Filipino scholars. Next, please. And then from the beginning, we tried to disseminate some online materials. So we know Filipino youth are very much into digital space. So we decided perhaps disseminating some more information and fun infographics for Filipino youth will be more useful, so that students can read about Korea's NSP, and then they will be interested in knowing more about the public diplomacy framework of South Korea. Next, please. Yeah, so this was like a culminating activity to study and to share insights about New Southern policy between Filipino and Korean scholars. So it was done last year, so you can still watch the whole program on our YouTube channel. Next, please. And based on the webinar, we also made short infographics and then the summary of each session. So I think when you access UPKRC's Facebook page, if you study about Korea or political science or some related field, I think you can also check out some references from our website and Facebook page like this one. Next, please. Yes, these proceedings based on the webinar is also available online for free. And then in line of this studying New Southern Policy, we also held a Korea essay contest. And we are very happy that so many Filipino students really enthusiastically shared their ideas and insights about Korea and NSP, especially in their written essays. So this essay is also available in UPKRC's website. Next, please. Yeah, so we also printed out some versions of the webinar proceedings, and we shared with UP Cebu and some other high schools and local schools. So whenever we have the existing volumes, and whenever we have resources to deliver or to share our books, we are really willing to do so. So just let us know via email, or you can always let us know what schools and what group of students will benefit from these books or these booklets. Yeah. Next, please. Yes. Another activity we held last year and then this year was focusing on Korean culture. So during the 7th Philippine Korean Studies Symposium, we focused on Korean soft power and the culture policy and creative industry. So as you see here, we invited 2 keynote speakers from overseas universities. And then in the next slide, you can see Filipino scholars who focused on different topics related to Korean culture and creative industry. So these are all recorded, and you can all rewatch the whole program on UPKRC's YouTube channel. So please visit our UPKRC's YouTube channel as well. Next slide, please. Yes, as a culminating activity, we also held the K-Culture Forum. So in this forum, we invited some experts from the field and practical sectors. So from media and some other publishing and the government agencies such as CCP or other agencies to share what is really going on with Philippine culture industry and also Korean culture industry. So it was quite a meaningful venue to share insights and to give some more constructive suggestions for each other's agency. Next slide, please. Yes, and these are continuing project as part of digitization project of UPKRC. So you can visit our website or Facebook page to check out these infographics on different topics. Next. And Hanpil is the journal produced by UPKRC, and so far we have uploaded all the Hanpil issues for free in our website. So please visit our website as well, and you can also frequently see we produce a policy brief. This is like a short version of paper, but since it is written by renowned scholars, I think you can also learn something from their words, and then you can refer to some parts for your thesis or for your research paper. Next slide, please. Yes, and another digitization project is this Koreanist repository. So in this project, we try to collect the thesis or dissertation produced by Filipino scholars who studied in Korea, because it's not always easy to access Korea-based dissertation, right? So this is just to collaborate with Filipino scholars in Korea, and then to have some to have them donate their thesis and dissertation. So Filipino students who are based in the Philippines can also read, and then they can refer some important parts of the writing into the research paper as well. So these are all free access. So just check out the link like this one in our Facebook page and website. Next, please. Yes. So to wrap up my presentation, we also have challenges and prospects. So one of the biggest challenges will be to sustain research grants, so we can continue these kind of meaningful activities in the future. And like Professor Oliver mentioned, collaborations and international linkages are very important. So we are very willing to expand our network with our other institutions. And lastly, UPKRC will continue to focus on localization and hybridization and innovation of Korean studies for Filipino scholars and students. And then I think last slide. Yes, so these are the information about UPKRC. So please feel free to email us and check out our website and Facebook page and also YouTube channel, so you can learn more about UPKRC next time. So this is it from me. 감사합니다. Salamat po.
Ayan, kamsahamnida, Dr. Bay. So, at this point, we will try to watch Sir Ronel Naranjo's na presentation.
안녕하세요. Good afternoon to all of you. Sorry I couldn't join you today because we have the General Assembly happening at the same time. So I just sent this recorded video to you. So I would like to introduce GKS-PHAA, or Global Korea Scholarship Philippines Alumni Association. What we do, our short history, and what can we contribute as one of the K friends in fostering Korean Philippines friendship. So Global Korea Scholarship Philippines Alumni Association is part of the worldwide organization of GKS alumni who studied in Korea but now are back in their own country. So there are 60 GKS Alumni Association in 68 cities around the world, and Philippines is one of that. And usually the different GKS alumni networks hold alumni meetings. We also have alumni invitation program wherein we go to Korea. They invite us to go to Korea and do some activities. And then we also have the GKS Publicity Envoy, of which I was appointed from 2019 to 2021, and they renewed my appointment from 2021 to 2023. Basically, we are the face of GKS alumni in that country, and we promote GKS related activities. And our headquarters is in Korea. So we have the flagship Korea GKS Alumni Association. So the physical office of GKS alumni is there, and yeah, they also hold in Korea in different parts of the world, GKS International Conference, like seminar, workshops, because most of the alumni are like in the academe, or most of us studied in Korea. So we do academic related conferences or seminar workshop. And here are the events. This is the physical office. It is in the NIED, or National Institute for International Education, under the Ministry of Education of Republic of Korea. I think it's somewhere near Seoul. I couldn't remember now the place. And so we, from this global association, we have formed the local chapter, named as we know that GKS Alumni PH, and this is our logo. So when did GKS Philippines Alumni Association started? Informally, it started in 2014, and was founded by Korean Cultural Center, because they are the educational army of the Korean embassy back then. But starting from this year, the Korean embassy are handling us directly. But we were formally founded, like formally meaning we had the formal, like, officers, because like in 2014 it was just like appointed, but in 2014 we had an election and appointment of our members and officers. So I was appointed. At first I was in 2015 I was appointed and appointed now as the president from 2019 until next year, 2021. And these are my officers. And in 2019 we held, aside from the General Assembly, we also held our first colloquium, and these are the participants. I think some of you present here today also was present or participated in our colloquium back then. And we would also like to thank UP Korea Research Center, because they also help us in formally establishing our organization, and also Korean Cultural Center, the organizer of these K-Friends, and also UP Arirang. We also have alumni, and I'm also a UP Arirang friend. So we're all connected. And this is the start of our events and activities as a formal organization under GKS PHAA. But now we have 30 official members based on the master list given to us by GKS. There were 103 Filipino GKS alumni or recipients of the GKS scholarship, and now we do the official membership just by attending our General Assembly and also giving their oath to us as active members. So here are some pictures of our members. And then we have three main objectives. First is to initiate and coordinate cooperation and collaboration between and among members of GKS-PHAA for the benefit of the Philippines and the Republic of Korea. Second is to serve as a coordinating body among Filipino GKS alumni. And lastly, to promote GKS programs in the Philippines and represent the association in collaboration with Korean Embassy. So as I told you a while ago, we are now under the management of Korean Embassy. And our advisor is the second consul, second secretary, Miss Hwayong Gu, and she is our interim advisor. So based on these objectives, we have these events. Like first, we have the GKS promotional events wherein we do online live talk. In this starting this year, during the pandemic, since everything's online, so we did our activities online, and we are actually surprised by the reception of the Filipino audience. The GKS graduate application or application for graduate degrees to programs are usually between February to March. So for promotion and also for helping those who want to apply, we conducted the online live chat wherein we answered most of the questions or the frequently asked questions, and also for the undergraduate online live talk and undergraduate degree application starts around July to August. So with the September to October. So we did this last September, and then we also do Korean Studies info session. UP-KRC invited us and current GKS fellows to conduct a study session or info session in this episode. They had Miss Ivy Ganadillo, which is a student of Iowa Women's University, and then me, aside from promoting GKS per se, I also was invited to promote Korean culture. And since my major, I'm now teaching in Filipino department, and I'm also teaching Filipino culture to Korean students. So as part of Quezon City Linggo ng Kabataan or Youth Week, I talk about the connection between Filipino and Korean culture, and this is actually very interesting for the audience. And then we also have collaborative events wherein we invite our members to present their study conducted in Korea through the colloquium. This is our second colloquium. And then our third colloquium for this year, we invited, we collaborated with the UP Asian Center because our Vice President for Secretariat, Dr. Michelle Palumbarat is a faculty there, and she's an expert for Korea studies. So we tap her resources, and we organized this third colloquium with her institution. And lastly, we also do internal events, events for our members, of course. So we have the General Assembly today too, our third General Assembly. And we also do orientation starting this year. Actually, since 2014, we were doing this, but informally. We also formally started doing it this year, especially for those 2020 GKS fellows, because they were stranded here. They were supposed to leave for Korea last year, but they were stranded because of the pandemic. So in February, before they leave for Korea, we were able to share some tips on how to survive Korea and their primary needs, or some tips from our alumni and also from the current GKS fellows. And with these activities, I just want to rephrase our first objective, especially to accommodate all the Korean friends or the K friends. GKS PHAA is open for cooperation and collaboration between and among Koreanists and Korea-related organizations for the benefit of the Philippines and the Republic of Korea. So our members are actually working and affiliated with academe, non-governmental organization, and even in different government institutions. So I think if you need some help, especially in terms of academic, I think we can offer our network for that, and we can also tap our alumni from the NGO and the government institution if you need us to connect to them. So and I think we all have the same aim to establish to strengthen. Actually, it was already established. So strengthen and continue the mutual understanding and friendship between Philippines and Republic of Korea. So we can somehow serve as a bridge that connects the two countries, because I think most of our members, we study in Korea at least for 3 to 5 years. So Korea will never leave us. So I think it's also same with other speakers today and also the participants. So I think GKS PHAA is very, I can serve as a bridge from Korea to the Philippines and from Philippines to Korea. So I would like to greet you a pleasant afternoon. Maraming salamat po, 감사합니다.
Yes, thank you po, Sir Ronel, for that presentation. To our K-Barkadas, we apologize for the technical problems that we had in Sir Ronel's presentation. But don't worry, we will post Sir Ronel's video and we'll inform you right away via email in our social media accounts when it's already up online. That being said, Travis, there really are a lot of Koreanist projects in the Philippines today, and we are all looking forward to these beautiful projects. Ikaw ba?
Of course. Pero, and syempre we learned a lot today. Pero of course, before we wrap up this event, di ba, ano naman yung event natin kung wala souvenirs? So of course,
Ay,
yung event na pinakaabang-abang ng lahat.
oo. Tama. Truly, partner, no? From this moment, we will have a game na very, 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 very chill lamang. I am sure that our viewers have a lot of interest in Korean culture. And so, we got you covered with our Quiz B. Quiz B with the K. Yes. Dito, may naghihintay na malaking papremyo para sa mga mananalo.
Oh, partner, and it's because ang ating prize ay ang newly released A-pop book
Oh,
translated from English to
nice.
Korean by our very own advisor, UP Arirang, Dr. Kyungmin Bae, and Ma'am Casey Rico. And of course, may bag pa siya, so super
Oh, nice.
attractive din.
Yes, talagang may book ka na, may bag ka pa, di ba? You can bring it
course.
anytime, anywhere. So for our mechanics, pumunta po tayo sa menti.com at i-type ang code na nakikita nyo ngayon. Wala pa pala. Yan, na
So
nakikita
ito yung
nyo
prize
sa inyong screen. Yan yung prize. Yan. Yet again, ulitin po natin, pumunta po tayo sa menti.com at i-type ang code na makikita nyo ngayon sa inyong screen. The Menti code po is 82335407. Again, 82335407.
Okay, and as you signed up, kindly put your K-Friend ID sent to your email as your name dito sa Menti. And if you can't see the email, kindly check your spam folder. So parin sa mga pre-registrants natin, or if you did not pre-register for this event, pwede nyo naman din gamitin yung inyong full name as your name in the game. So ang format po nating susundin for the player name is K-Friend, tapos hashtag, tapos yung ID number. Pero for those na hindi pre-registered at walang unique code, you can use your full name. So yun again, yung instructions natin.
So magkakaroon po tayo ng 3 rounds. Rounds 1 and 2 will have 5 multiple choice questions each. Samantalang sa third round, we will have 5 fill-in-the-blank questions. We will read the question once and you will be given enough time to answer. Take note, pabilisan po ito. Kapag the faster you answer correctly, the higher score you'll get.
So for round 1, you will have 15 seconds ba or 10 seconds ba? 15 seconds to answer.
Yes.
15 seconds to answer multiple choice questions. Our top 10 winners in this round will advance to the third round. So yung mga hindi naman papala rin sa first round, you can still try your luck in the second round. O, di ba exciting?
Yes, ready na ako, partner, and I'm sure handang-handa na rin ang ating mga players. Reminder lang po ulit, our Menti code is 82335407. Makikita niyo po yan sa comment section sa ating live stream. And you can still enter the game using your K-Friend ID or your full name.
Balita ko daw, sobrang ganda daw nung latest na book ng A-pop.
True. It's just, kahit di pa ako nakakabili, yung sa title pa lang, I know that it's really a good read. Bilang I'm an enthusiast of like wholesome content talaga.
You know.
Yeah.
Tsaka super aesthetic din nung cover niya, di ba?
Oo,
Parang
oo.
cover pa lang, masaya ka na.
Yes. Parang visuals pa lang talagang panalo na yung prize natin. Talagang, kaya naman dahil dun sa prize, talagang mapapapush ka na talagang galingan dito sa Quiz B with the K natin. Di ba, Travis?
Of course.
Yes. Ayan. So, ngayon, meron daw tayong more than 10 participants already. 16 in exact. Yeah, maghintay lamang po tayo ng ilang entrants dito sa game natin at pwedeng-pwede na tayong magsimula. Again, reminder lamang po, ang Menti code po natin is 8233-5407. Makikita niyo po yan sa comment section sa inyong live stream, and you can enter the game using your K-Friend ID or your full name.
Okay, so I think we're going to start in a short while.
Yes. Again, we already have 20 participants, Travis. I think we can get this started. So ready na ba kayo? Ready ka na ba, Travis?
Of course.
Yes, let's go. For our first round, first question. Go, Travis.
This is a popular sport in South Korea that can be traced as far back as 2,300 years ago. The name of the sport means the way of the foot and fist. So,
your 15 seconds
starts now.
Starts
now.
Now. Oh my God, ano kayang sagot doon, Travis? Ako personally hindi ko alam. Or kung alam ko man, hindi ko masasabi.
Ako rin. Hopefully, alam din ng mga viewers natin and baka sagot sila, no? Para across the board, fair na agad, di ba? Gaya ng mga sports.
Oo, and tiwala naman ako sa ating mga players dahil they are Koreanists, di ba?
Of course.
Ayan. Last
5
seconds. Oh, 1. Time's up. So ano ba yung sagot, Travis?
Yan, so taekwondo.
Oh, taekwondo. Ngayon ko lang nalaman to. That's a very, very good catch.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see na most of our Koreanists din have answered correctly, no?
Yes.
Just that it's a very known fact pala.
Oo. Tsaka magkakatalo-talo na lang din sila dun sa sa bilis ng sagot nila.
So question 2 naman tayo ngayon.
I'll read this for you guys. For our second question, what is the rice cake that is considered the most significant food that represents Chuseok, or the Korean Thanksgiving Day? It has a shape of a half moon and is usually filled with sesame seeds, chestnuts, red beans, etc. Your 15 seconds starts now. Oh. Hindi ko maalala yung sagot ni Travis kasi di ba parang lately lang din nagka-Chuseok. So hindi ko na maalala yung sagot.
Pero actually, baka yung mga nakasubscribe sa page natin or naka-follow ng page natin sa Facebook, baka alam nila to.
Yes.
Uy.
That being said, the correct answer is Songpyeon.
Ang daming nakasagot. So, very, very good. Napaka-close fight siguro nito going forward.
Oo. Ayan, we have K-Friend 131 leading the game and followed by K-Friend 2. Congratulations! Ay, nabago! Si Casper na pala yung second. That's nice. That's a good
Pero okay lang yan dahil napakarami pang mga tanong, di ba?
Yes.
So, next question tayo. It is considered to be South Korea's national drink and is typically made from rice or barley with an alcohol content of about 20%. It has a government-mandated price so that all citizens can afford it. So, yung timer nyo starts Now? Okay, so starts now?
Yes. Yes, may bisita po tayong aso ngayon, Travis. Dog
Ano pang
reveal.
favorite? Yeah, ano bang favorite drink mo, Bon? Wala lang. Random question.
Favorite drink ko? Well, kung hindi Korean drink, it's basically coffee. Kasi it helps me stay up late night.
Yeah,
Ikaw
same.
ba?
Uy! Same
Yan,
din, coffee
sagot
din.
ka na.
Ah,
May
ang
correct
dami din
answer
na.
tayo.
Parang
Travis.
parehong dami din ng bilang sa kanina, di ba?
Mm-mm. At ang correct answer po natin is soju. So, ayan. Oh. Oh, parang medyo mahigpit na yung laban ngayon, ah. Yes. So, atin talagang mabibreak yan mamaya. For the fourth question, it is a dish that Koreans enjoy the most during summer. It originated in North Korea and is famous. It's called meat broth, a light taste that's neither hot nor savory, and buckwheat. Your 15 seconds starts. Medyo nag-load. 15 seconds starts now. Ano ba favorite
Ayan.
Korean food, John Travis?
Ako? Kimchi. Kimchi.
Ay, nice. Oh, you can add it with anything. Basically, anything.
Kahit na Filipino dishes like
Oo,
adobo,
true.
nagkakagulay agad.
Nakikrave ako. At dahil dyan, yan, may sagot na tayo. We have naengmyeon. Okay.
Naengmyeon.
Yes.
And so far, majority ng mga ano
Oo,
natin,
alam
no,
talaga
mga
nila
players
to.
natin, nakukuha nila yung mga sagot,
Oo.
ano, which is nakakataba.
Yes.
Kataba ng puso. And napakalapit pa rin ang laban hanggang ngayon. With,
Oo.
with K-Friend 131, no, talagang tinakapit niya yung lead niya.
Yes, at humahabol si Sarah G. For the fifth
Okay, so
question,
next,
go Travis.
next question. In the Philippines, karaoke sessions are a must during parties and festivities. While in Korea, people typically go to private karaoke rooms to relieve stress or have fun with friends. What is this private karaoke room called? So your time starts now? Yeah, starts now.
Mahilig ka ba mag-karaoke, Travis? Nice. Ako nung before mag-pandemic talaga tambay ako ng karaoke.
Kaso may tendency sa mga karaoke na sobrang luma ng mga kanta, no? Kaya siguro growing up, ang dami kong alam. Uy!
That being said, ang sagot natin, Travis?
Norebang.
Nice. Ang dami talagang yung nakakaalam ng sagot. Diba? Tingnan natin kung may nabago dun sa patas ng ating top 10.
Consistent pa rin.
Consistent. Ayan. So for our winner for this round is K-Friend 131. Pero yung top 10 po ang mag-proceed sa ating final round, sa third round. So for our for our top 1, we have K-Friend 131. Nawala. Yes.
So may round 2 tayo, 'di ba? So congratulations sa top 10 winners natin for this round.
Yes.
So meron tayong round 2, tama ba?
Oo, go Travis. Let's start that round 2 already.
Okay. So sa round 2, you also have 15 seconds to answer your multiple choice questions. Top 10 winners of this round will advance to the third round. So galingan po natin dito dahil ito yung last chance natin to compete in the final round and win exclusive prizes. So again, reminder na same Menti code ba, Von?
Yes, reminder lang po ulit. Our Menti code is 8233-5407 and you can still enter the game using your K-Friend ID. Send via email or your full name. Wag na nating patagalin to, Travis. Kaya naman, here is our round 2. So for our first question, go Travis.
This is the only holiday shared by North and South Korea that symbolizes Korea's freedom from Japanese imperialism in 1945. So, anong holiday kaya to? Your time starts now.
Yes.
Okay, so good luck sa atin, guys. And I think
True.
makukuha naman na ito ng mga Koreanists natin.
Oo. Alam ko yung sagot pero hindi ko nang sinasabi. Baka masabi ko na naman. Last 5 seconds.
Ano bang favorite holiday mo, Bon?
Ay, Pasko talaga. Gusto ko ng
Pasko.
Christmas. Oo.
Same.
So I think we're having technical difficulties with our slides right now. But hang in there po. Yes. And speaking of Pasko, Travis, no? Lately kasi we've been, through so much. So talagang gusto ko ng mag-take muna ng break. Ikaw ba? Pasko rin ba yung favorite mong event or holiday?
Since malapit din yung Pasko sa birthday ko, so maraming pagkain.
Ay, kailan ba
Although, syempre
birthday mo?
ngayong pandemic, December 15, so sobrang lapit din sa Pasko. Although, of course, ngayong pandemic, syempre hirap tayong makita yung mga kilala natin, mga kapamilya natin. Pero, hopefully, we still have that Christmas spirit going forward ngayong taon.
Yes.
And sana excited pa rin tayo and that we
Yes.
remember
And
what it stands for.
ayun nga, to bring the family together, if we have the opportunity to vaccinate ourselves, let's get vaccinated because vaccines work. Diba? So, ayan.
Ano pala, guys, so
Iba raw
round
yung
2 pala
code
is a chance for round 1 non-winners, tama ba?
Yes. So,
So,
yung top 10 po na nanalo kanina sa first round, hindi na po kayo pwedeng sumali sa round 2 dahil automatically nasa final round na po kayo. So, for yung round 2 is for non-round 1 winners. And nag-iba na raw pala yung round 2 code. I'm so sorry, everyone. We're having really technical difficulties right now. Okay.
okay, so
As we wait for the new code, ayan.
iba rin yung Menti code. So, sabihin din natin kung ano yung Menti code.
Yes. Speaking of the code, nandito na siya. Travis, yan. Ang ating Menti code is 69467584. Makikita nyo rin po yan sa comment section sa inyong live stream. Again, ang ating pong Menti code is 69467584. Huwag po natin kakalimutan na i-enter yung game. I'm so sorry, Travis. I-enter yung game using your K-friend ID or full name.
So, again, mechanics, multiple choice questions, 5 rounds pa rin ba? And you still have 15 seconds like yung unang game. Pero para to sa mga players natin na hindi sumampa sa top 10 last round. So, ito yung last chance nyo para makasali sa final round.
Yes.
Okay. So, sorry pala sa naging technical difficulty natin for this round. Okay. So, question number 2.
So for our question number 2, it is a movie directed by Bong Joon-ho that won Best Picture in the 92nd Academy Awards. It is the first foreign language and South Korean film to win the title in Oscars history. Your 15 seconds starts now. So napanood mo tong movie na to, Travis. One of my favorites itong movie na ito eh.
Same.
Okay. Like super ganda ng visual storytelling talaga nito. 3, 2, 1. Time's up, everyone. So, for our answer is no other than Train to Busan. Char. Our answer is Parasite. So, sino kaya ang ating nasa top 10 ngayon, Travis, no? Ayan. So, so leading po ngayon ay si K-Friend. I'm assuming it's K-Friend 201. Congratulations. Followed by Tiffany of SNSD. Charing.
Okay, so diretso tayo sa next round natin.
Go.
So it is the university entrance exam that all Korean students are required to take. Family, friends, and supporters flock into the local high schools to express their support through giving well wishes and treats on the day of the exam. So this is the university entrance exam. So anong exam to? So your time starts now.
Parang narinig ko na tong exam na to, Travis, sa mga Korean dramas, lalo ng school dramas. Diba?
Although, syempre, ayoko rin mag-isip masyado ng exam ngayon since war flashbacks, di ba?
Yes. Tama ba? Nasa Sky Castle ba itong anong to? Exam na to? Or have you seen Sky Castle?
Yes, of course.
Time's up, everybody. So our answer is Suno. Tingnan natin kung may nabago sa patas. Parang medyo widely distributed yung mga natin, participants natin. Iba-iba yung sagot nila. Ayan, leading pa rin, Travis. Sino nga ito?
So si Tuon pa rin yata yung leading natin for now. Okay,
Nice.
so diretso tayo sa next
Yes.
round natin.
For question number 4, it is a popular sugar-based sweet that is primarily made from caramelized sugar and baking soda while continuously stirring until it forms a thick froth. In 2020, there was a coffee trend that was named from this treat. Your timer starts now.
Feeling ko makakatama lahat dito eh.
Oo. Na nag-trend ito, hindi ko siya tinry kasi wala lang.
O baka masunog yung bahay, ganun.
Oo, tama. Time's up. The correct answer is, of course, dalgona.
Okay. So far, halos lahat ng players natin nakuha yung right answer, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, diretso na tayo sa last question ng round na ito.
Let's go.
Para makaproceed na tayo sa last round. So, Koreans' love for selfies resulted to the blank culture in South Korea. This word is a combination of the Korean words for face and best. South Koreans upload their photos in a popular online forum for ratings and popularity polls. So, ano tong blank na ito? So, your time starts now.
Parang hindi ko to alam. Ano kaya ito?
Ako hindi rin ako ganun ka-aware sa mga ganito. Pero
Hindi
feeling
ako
ko alam ko
marunong-
siya.
Oo. Hindi kasi ako marunong mag-selfie eh. Last 5 seconds po for this question. And time's up.
So the correct answer is uljang. Uljang.
Oh.
Okay. So medyo tricky pala yung question natin.
Interesting. Oh. Oh.
Okay, so ito pala ang top 10 natin. Okay. So diretso na tayo sa last round natin para
Pero
para sa
before
mga nasasabi.
before we proceed to the final round, we want to remind everyone that don't forget to take a screenshot of your final score for verification and claiming ng prize. So let's proceed now to the final round, Travis.
Okay. So ito na yung
yung last round na, grabe, last round na agad.
Of course. So again, screenshot guys for verification para talagang malaman namin na kayo yung winners of the prize. Pero
Yes,
good
Pat.
job guys so far for answering the questions and
Yes.
masaya kami na most of you know the correct answers. Majority halos, di ba? Yung nakakuha ng mga sagot so far.
Yes. And for the final round, you now have 30 seconds to answer the fill in the blanks questions. By the end of this round, the top 10 will be revealed. Reminder lang po ulit, yung nag-top 10 lamang po sa round 1 and round 2 ang pwedeng mag-join sa final round. So we have the list of the top 10 in the first 2 rounds. So please be honest.
Okay, so ito na, bago na rin yung Menti code natin for this round, di ba?
Yes. Yes, bago na yung Menti code.
So yung nakikita natin sa screen na 80938832. Of course, highlighted there. So again, same format like kanina yung name. So if meron kayong code galing sa pre-registration nyo, you put your K-friend number there. Or if ano kayo, watcher kayo or viewer kayo for now, put your full name and then syempre screenshots din for verification eventually. So yun guys, ito na yung moment of truth natin.
Let's go. For our first question, South Korean blank companies have emerged as quote-unquote key players within global content's market, a rising competitor of Japanese manga. Many dramas and games are being made based on these. Famous sources include Naver, Line, Kakao, and Dawn. Our clue is first one word, 7 letters. Your timer starts now. Also, we would like to remind Dao from our technical team that yung mga top 10 po na naglalaro ngayon ay yung mga hindi pre-registered na people ay wag na po nating palitan yung name na ginamit natin kanina.
And I think kailangan natin i-read aloud kung sino yung mga top 10 natin from the past rounds, di ba?
Yes.
So
the correct
again,
answer for this question muna, Travis, is Web 2.
Okay.
Go.
So for round 2 pa lang, winners natin ay si 201, si Tiffany, si K-Friend 162, K-Friend 30, K-Friend 161, K-Friend 151, 110, 202, K-Friend 12, tsaka si K-Friend 137. Tapos sa first round, si K-Friend 131, si Sarah G, si K-Friend 111, si K-Friend 158, K-Friend 201, K-Friend 2, K-Friend 152, K-Friend 110, Michelle C, tsaka si K-Friend 21. So,
Okay.
ito yung
Yung po mga names na ginamit nyo kanina at K-Friend ID, wag na po natin siyang palitan at yun na po yung gamitin natin for this round. Para hindi na rin po mahirapan ang technical team to reach you when you win this game. Yan. For our second question, Travis.
Okay. So, Blank Market in Seoul is the country's largest wholesale and retail shopping district. It is composed of more than 30,000 fashion shops and 50,000 manufacturers. They sell all sorts of stuff and are open for 24 hours a day. So this is one word, 10 letters. Your time starts now.
And time's up. So, ayan. Oh, the correct answer is Dodengmyo.
Dongdaemun.
Dongdaemun. Hintayin lang natin ang ating leaderboard. Ayan. Oh. Oh. Ang drastic ng change. Medyo unpredictable ito, Travis, ano? So, that being said, proceed na tayo sa ating next question. For the third question, blank Gamcheon culture village, also called quote-unquote Santorini of Korea, or the Machu Picchu of Korea, is this vibrant village known to be a refugee camp during the Korean War and once a home to a religious community called Taegukdo. So ang ating hint, one word, 5 letters. Your 30 seconds starts now. Four, three, two, and 1. Time's up, everybody. So ano kayong sagot? The correct answer is Busan.
Actually, napakaraming mga stuff dito sa K-quiz natin na first time ko lang din malalaman.
Oo,
Hindi ba ba?
oo. Like, alam naman natin, na-encounter na natin siya, pero meron palang backstory or like may historical backgrounds pala ito. So, interesting. Tingnan natin kung may nabago sa ating leaderboard, Travis. Oh. Nananatiling si 201 ang leader ng leaderboard.
Pero so far, magkakalapit pa rin yung scores. So, good job sa ating players so far.
Yes.
Diretso tayo sa next question natin. South Koreans celebrate Orininal or blank as a way to instill a sense of independence and national pride to the Korean children. It highlighted their need for love, care, and respect. It was founded by Korean children's writer Pang Chong-hwan in 1923. So this is 2 words, 12 letters. So again, blank as a way to instill a sense of independence. 2 words, 12 letters. Oh, your time starts now. Ano kaya to, Von? Nakakabahan din ako. Pero feeling ko marami sa atin sa mga players natin nakakaalam.
Natulala lang ako kasi iniisip ko siya. Anong sagot to? Parang very nakaka-curious. Ano kayang sagot to? Ayan, time's up na, Travis. Go.
Oh, Children's Day.
Tingnan natin kung may nabago sa ating leaderboard. Last question na ba yung Travis or hindi pa? Hindi pa, no?
Meron pa yatang one last.
Oh, nice. Malapit nating malaman kung sino yung mananalo ng book at bag.
So far, kumakapit yung top 10 natin, ano?
Yes, oo. Parang nagpapalit-palit na lang sila ng patas. So that being said, for our last question, the friendship between the Philippines and South Korea was strengthened by the deployment of the Philippine Expeditionary Force to Korea during the Korean War in the 1950s to help South Korea defend itself from the invasion of the North. What is the acronym of Philippine Expeditionary Force to Korea? Again, what is the acronym of Philippine Expeditionary Force in Korea? Nawala agad, sorry. Timer starts now.
So kung labanan nga naman tong K-quiz natin at gera ito na talaga yung final stand ng ating top
Oo,
10 na mananalo ng latest A-pop book. So
Yes.
good luck sa mga mananalo sa ating game.
And the correct answer is PEFTO or PEFTOK. Yan, tingnan natin kung sino yung mga nanalo. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ayun, may nabago pa. So, yes, reminder lang po. Yan po ang ating top 10 winners for Quiz B with the K. At reminder lamang po to take a screenshot of this leaderboard so that kapag nag-reach out po kami sa inyo when we inform you about how to claim the prizes, ay ito po yung ipepresent nyo to verify your participation.
And especially yung mga viewers natin for today na hindi nakapag-pre-register, we urge you then to take a screenshot para pag claim nyo yung prize nyo, we can verify that it's you.
Yes. Go, Travis.
So, yun. Congratulations sa mga winners natin for this game. And so, yeah. So, yan. So, natapos na yung game natin and yung mga presentations and yung performances. So, hopefully, nag-enjoy tayo so far and nakakalungkot but we have to say goodbye.
Oo, ang dami nating napulot today, no, partner? Starting from the Three Eyes of Hallyu and the Koreanist projects in the Philippines. That being said, to formally close our program, may we call on our virtual floor, Dr. Kyung-min Bae, once again for the closing remarks.
Annyeonghaseyo. Once again, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Once again, it is a pleasant afternoon to be with all of you. On behalf of the organizers, we sincerely thank everyone who joined us today in this year's K-Friends Day event. As a culminating activity with Koreanists in the Philippines from various sectors, academe, culture, government, and youth. We are so delighted to have met new faces today and expanded our networks with new institutions through the event. And even virtually, we are really happy to see all of our audience today through Facebook and YouTube. Like in the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The message is also very relevant for all of us today. To strengthen the networks amongst Koreanists in the Philippines, to develop Korean studies academically and also culturally, we need to collaborate and cooperate with each other. We hope today's event was where you could see a potential to reach out new individuals and institutions for your future projects. UPKRC's door is always open, so please check out our website and social media pages. Once again, on behalf of the Embassy of the Republic of Korea and the Korean Cultural Center in the Philippines, we thank all the audience for today's participation. And a special thanks goes to UP Arirang, who earnestly worked for this meaningful event for the Filipinos and Koreans. We hope to see you all again in our next future projects. Maraming salamat po. Kamsahamnida.
And that concludes K-Friends Day, a Filipino-Koreanist journey. K-Friends Day is an event organized by the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in the Philippines and co-organized by UP Korea Research Center and UP Arirang.
So we would like to thank our panelists, our presenters, our performers, and the people who made this event possible from behind the scenes. We would also like to thank our K-Barkadas for joining us today. We value your insights, so we ask everyone to please fill up our evaluation form. Just scan the QR code on the screen or go to bit.ly/kfriends2021 and you're good to go. So sana yung details na yun malagay natin sa chat, sa
Yes.
Facebook, and sa YouTube, and sa streaming. Okay.
Yes.
Since we want to improve our future events as well, we really value your insight on this one. So
Yes.
hopefully masagot po natin yung eval form.
Yes, and also we want to thank the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in the Philippines, the UP Korea Research Center, the Office of International Linkages Diliman, and UP Arirang for their invaluable contribution to make this event a huge success. Also, thank you po to A-Pop Books, Igting, and Dono Korean Restaurant for your help.
So to stay updated for more exciting events like K-Friends Day or just anything about Hallyu, follow UP Arirang on Facebook, on Twitter at UP Arirang, and Instagram at UP Arirang as well. So once again, I am Travis Argayosa.
And I am Von Atienza. This has been K-Friends Day, a Filipino-Koreanist journey.
So
Goodbye!
Goodbye!
Thank you!
𝐊-𝐅𝐫𝐢𝐞𝐧𝐝.
Yeah. Maraming salamat po sa
Maraming
pag-stay sa
salamat po
amin.
sa pagdalo.